properties that you need to change, or on your desktop?
No. If it's working on Discord, then it should be working on OBS. So I've just set it to default. That should work, hopefully. Hey, chat. Hopefully you can hear me. Looks like it's working.
Do you want one of us to jump in so we can hear you?
It's working. It is working.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Don't look at my screen.
Don't come and see me. You're not allowed to.
No.
Not that you can see anything anyway, but
Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
don't take any notice of the wizard behind the curtain. I know you got a wizard in your group. Don't take any notice of your wizard. He's full of shit. But no, it should be working. It looks like it's working. Can Mr. Stip, can you confirm that you can hear me? Please. It is registering on there. I'm pretty sure it is registering in the stream. Looks that way. There we go. How many hands are we holding up?
What number? Not one and 10. Confirm.
Right, we can confirm that everyone can be heard. That is all that counts. We are good by the looks of that. I can hear the voices in my head. Good. The voices are there. Welcome back, everybody. We are back. We missed a session because of things and stuff, but that's all good. These things happen. So we're back for session 11 tonight. This session is entitled A Promise to Keep, as you do indeed have a promise to keep. So last we left off, you had awoken and found yourselves back on the old road just east of the village of Berescar, after having attempted to return back to Daggerford. Shortly after realizing you had also been unconscious for several hours as the day was drawing to an end. While discussing what you were to do next, a group of hunters carrying their quarry happened along and offered to travel with you back to Berescar, once again warning of the dangers of remaining outdoors at night in this land. Upon returning to the village, you discover the Durst Manor still stands. However, some subtle differences, and that a Frederick Durst and his wife Elizabeth and their sons Gustav and Frederick Jr. reside there. Checking to see that she still had the deed in the manor, Sierra finds that Sierra finds that she does not. And Orvan finds the bundle of bones that you had collected from Durst Manor is still in her pack. Back at the Blood on Vine, you get drinks and food and make a gesture of goodwill to the wolf hunters with ale, and also a bottle of wine to the 3 women that you'd previously encountered and potentially had upset. Arcos's apology was accepted, although the more intense of the 3 sisters seems to taunt him, but offers you rooms for the evening free of charge nonetheless, and seems that they are part owners of the Blood on the Vine. Orvan, seeming out of sorts, excuses herself and tries to make sense of things by reaching out to Bashaba, her deity. And while distant, she finds some small comfort in the response. One by one, you will retire for the evening. Saya, restless and concerned, consults the cards and tosses them in frustration, only to find a dark sign from them as dark laughter is heard as she stares up at the old castle on the hill. Orvan double checks her packs and finds that the bones of the Durst children are still there, and vows to fulfill the request of Gustav Durst, and also hears the voice of Rose, who pleads to not be forgotten. And that's pretty much where we left off. And as I said, anyone that has taken a long rest, it is all good. The rest of you, if you have not, please do so. You will have all rested for the evening. Some of you probably restlessly. Dog is having a nuts. Someone's obviously, that'll be our neighbor. It's no gravy. Bark alarm. We're dog sitting at the moment. I bet you that bloody other dog's gotten into the yard again. Our neighbor's got 2 foxies, and they quite often get into the yard. Pain in the ass. But anywho, so as you all awake, another dreary morning here in this strange land. You find yourselves in your respective rooms. Most of you have your own morning rituals. We're not going to go through the rituals every time, but you bring yourselves to wake, you get dressed, you bring yourselves all downstairs to eat and drink, and you find the inn is empty. It's just you. The barkeep is milling around as usual in his usual drab and dreary manner. No real emotion, just going through the motions. Serves you your breakfast and your coffee and whatever you drink for the morning tea, whatever you desired. It's sort of there. It's not great though. Like you've discovered that the food and the drink here is average at best. It is serviceable. It fills a hole, but it's not great. So I'll turn it over to you guys as you, unless there's anything in particular you wish to do of the morning before meeting with the rest of the group. We'll pretty much join you in the dining room.
I'll just go down the dining room.
I'm just probably going to be mindlessly fiddling with my holy symbol. Nobody can see it though, it's just underneath my clothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Easily
More
enough done.
concerned about that. Not really paying attention to much.
Noted. So what I'll do is I'll get everyone to roll a perception check right off the bat. What are you doing, little dog? You stay in here.
Ew.
Oh, some couple of rows. A 21 from Sierra, 21 from Reed, 6 from Jarek, 16 from Orvan, 24 from Argos, and well, we got a double from Orvan.
I didn't think it rolled, sorry.
It's all good.
I was like, my name
Yeah,
is up there.
just give it a chance. It's all good. We're still waiting
My
for.
foundry's not working.
Why is your foundry not working?
Don't know. Oh no, there it goes.
So give it a chance.
Fell off and then came back again.
Yeah. Are you on local or the one on Discord?
203-211-124 3000?
It doesn't tell me anything.
I don't know. I'm not on the one on Discord.
Well, then you're local.
Oh.
You should be on the local one. The one you've always been using. But clearly you're not. That's why it's going to be slow.
Yeah, you have to send me the link to that again. I couldn't find it.
184 through 30,000 is
Yeah, that's the one through. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You need to be on a different. It doesn't matter. This means it'll be a little slower. But anywho, 10s and above. So looking at that, Jarek is the only one that probably won't notice things. And it almost stands to reason with Jarek's sort of demeanor anyway, I think, in this moment. So many of you would notice that Orvan is definitely out of sorts. As you look around the room, I'm going to get everyone to give a description of, now that you have come to a realization, you realize that you are here, you have no way of getting home, it seems. You've tried to go home and you cannot. So let's get an idea of sort of what everyone's demeanor is on the outside, what you're showing outwardly to the group. And bear in mind the roles that we've given. So those with 10 or above, you'll be able to note, you will notice these things in the other players. Those that are under 10, i.e. Jarek, probably wouldn't notice so much. He's probably preoccupied with this place and still very much in his own world, I think, a little bit. So we'll start with Orvan. I mean, you've already said that you're preoccupied, you're under your cloak, holding your holy symbol and focusing on that. Anything else outwardly that you think that she'd be projecting in this moment?
I think I'm just, because there's a lot of internal battles going on right now, so
Yeah.
I'm just like going to avoid any sort of talk.
Okay.
And probably not be focused on anything that is happening at the table at all.
No problem. With your role, I mean, you would pick up on what others are projecting a little bit, probably not as much based on your own, what's going on with you personally, but you would definitely see some of these things that the others are going to talk about as well. So we'll go around. Reed, what, because of the local, because of the latest events, things that have happened over the last sort of night or two, what do you think Reed's projecting in this moment? It'll be a new one,
Where-
Nutty. I'll have to give you a new one.
Where Reed is usually like lackadaisical, kind of just like go with the flow. He seems more like determined in a sense, or stony than cheery. Yes.
Makes sense. So he's just not really.
Kind of like indifferent, just kind of like gotta deal with it, kind of.
No worries. Arcos, same for you. Especially after the previous evening's antics with the owners, Arcos was obviously very agitated, heading into sleep.
So Arcos appears outwardly less agitated, and he's sort of, as he came down, sort of looking at Orvan and realizing perhaps in some minute way that he's playing into how she's feeling, and he's like, well, you know, I can do better. He's less murdery outwardly, like he's not giving off this aura of wanting to stab just about everyone he sees.
I love
Sort of
it.
a resignation to the situation. He's obviously like not come to terms with the idea of being stuck here, but
Yep.
you know, he was obviously talking about building another tavern and stuff, and he's sort of mulling that over in his mind, not as a serious option, but just to keep his mind off of like the reality of it, I think.
And maybe
Less moody than normal.
yeah, maybe thoughts of the task at hand as well. Promise that was given to the Durst Children. Is that playing a factor in that, do you think?
A little, because he still wants to keep the promise, but he also realizes that was one of the things that's trapped them here. Like,
Fair enough,
whether
very
they'll
cool.
actually be at rest, because he doesn't believe that anyone who dies here can be at rest. He's certain
Okay.
it's not possible.
Yeah, cool. Ripple.
Yes.
Were you not paying attention?
Was I here for the recap?
It's not the recap. You were here in the last 5 minutes, were you not?
Did not hear what the question was because I was busy trying to sort out my foundry.
What are you outwardly projecting now that you realise that you're stuck here past events? What's happened the last 3 days? Sitting at this table, what is Ripple feeling? What is she outwardly projecting? Or is she trying to hide it?
Oh, she'd be trying to hide it because she's watching Arcos looking like he's coming apart at the seams. And thinking about this alternative way home that's not east. I'm wondering if there's...
Yeah. All right, so you're focusing on that.
I'm focusing on that.
So outwardly, you're
Pondering.
just thinking a lot. Okay, so not really doing a whole lot. Sayra.
Sayira comes down with her hair nicely brushed, blandest clothes she possibly can have, and orders 2 herbal teas, and if they can't give her herbal teas, hot water, but gives one to Orvan and walks to the corner and tries to kind of like tune her lute, but she's actually watching all of her friends' faces and studying how they're going without saying
What was your role? Your role was fairly high, so
There's 21.
yeah. So I would say, yeah, I'd say you're very aware of how everyone's feeling. Very just as Reed, you'd be the same. You'd be very aware of what everyone else is sort of outwardly projecting. You can see the indifference in Orvan and her preoccupation. You've noticed the calmness in Arcos, which could be unsettling, maybe, because of how erratic he's been previously. Ripple seems deep in thought as well, pondering something you're not entirely sure. And Jarek, lastly.
He has his map out, and he's currently marking potential dig sites. He's not
Of course he
really too
is.
phased about being stuck here. Nothing really bad's happened yet. He got a bit annoyed the other day, but otherwise he's pretty content. He's marking spots like the graveyard where he saw the ghost line.
Okay, yeah.
Marking the Durst Manor on the map, and just other places out on the trip where points of potential interest.
Easily enough done.
Setting up a dig site, and he's considering what wonders he might find here. If he's going to be here a while, he may as well make most of it.
So I would say outwardly, it's still a little bit of excitement that Jarek is projecting, and he's going over this map, and anyone sitting at the table, and everyone can see what he's sort of looking at. He's marking things on the map, and he's making notes and margins and things like that. So with that, I'll now turn it over to you for conversation within the group. So that's what you're all sort of seeing on each other. Jarek is he's preoccupied with his map and marking out these random locations in this area. So I'll turn it over to you while you're seated at the table. Your herbal tea is not great. It's herbal, but you don't know what fucking herbs has gone into it. It doesn't smell very good. It tastes less so, but it's probably better than just the water that's here, because even that has an interesting odor and flavor to it.
I'm in rosemary tea.
No rosemary in this area.
Sounds like mugwort. Yeah.
Again, what you've noticed, I'd say what you all have noticed at this stage, is because of how dark and dreary this place is, everything seems to have a darkness about it. The food has a darkness about it, so the taste is off. It looks bland, it tastes bland, like there's no color, no flavor, like everything seems just so drab in this. And even the inn itself, even the picture that you're seeing in Foundry is just, it's, imagine more grey wood than brown. Even the lights seem dim. Even when they're at their brightest, they just don't seem bright at all. The shadows seem darker than usual. Like, you've seen Shadow, you've seen the Dark Nights, you've probably been in dark caverns in your adventures previously, but everything here just seems that much darker.
Go to this. We have to bury the little ones, don't we? I mean, that's a purpose, right? That's a goal.
Yeah, I guess this is something that we have to do.
We do.
Mindedly sipping this gross tea.
Takes a sip. As it sips through pursed lips, it's like, you.
Just like, yeah. I mean, they are still in this pack, so that is a goal.
Anyone else has suggestions? What are you mapping? What are you?
Oh, I'm just thinking there's a few opportunities here to see what there is. That it seems rife with history here. Be interesting to see what more history we can discover. As he goes and marks the Windmill as another place that
Far be it for me to say, as I've not done, but we should probably ingratiate ourselves to the people of this land before we start digging up their old stuff.
Oh, not digging yet, just making plans, plotting it out.
Plans to dig up and take their stuff. I've done this before. I'm very au fait with digging up other people's stuff, and then every now and again we bury it again, just for the hell of it. I couldn't ever really think of why. It's just something we did.
The difference.
Ripple, do you know why that makes sense? Because now that I think of it,
like a squirrel with his nuts.
squirrels.
You bury your nuts everywhere.
There's a
Very
difference
nuts.
though there's a difference with treasure and history and things to be discovered.
I think we should go and
Stories.
bury those children like we promised. Yeah, we should do that. Do that now, and you know we can reconvene on the digging up of other people's stuff later. That's it's an option. Plenty of options in front of us. Very good, Jarek. I think it's a fine idea.
The deed.
No
No,
one's
they
gonna mind. They don't want what's under there anyway. They would have dug it up themselves otherwise.
You say the deed or the deed?
I lost the deed.
How did you lose the deed? I thought it was in your pack.
It's not there, right, DM? It was gone, wasn't
It
it?
was gone. Yes, you were unable to find it.
I asked you to check for it. And then
Yeah, it's so that's
Deed is gone
definitely
indeed.
yeah,
wonder where
that's
that went.
definitely not our property anymore. So
I mean, is it? It's not there. So
Hopefully, the windmill's there still. There,
it's not there, right?
the house. No.
the house was that?
I'm sure if we maybe we should look on the way to the windmill.
No, we can.
That's just
We
wasting
need to
time.
go to the
We need to get
Windmill.
Windmill today.
Yeah, we've really postponed this, and we should go do that now.
I'm with you. I
Expedited.
think we need to go and get these little folk buried. And then see which
We
way
can
is the
figure out
windmill.
what the fuck we're gonna do.
Windmill is west out of Berescar, so you headed that way. When you went to ended up at the gypsy camp, you were headed in the right direction along Slowitz Road, heading west out of
And
Berescar.
West is not east. We may be able to get home that way.
That's the entire opposite direction from where we were. How are we gonna get home from there?
You said there's an
I mean-
alternative way home. It's not east. So
One problem at a time, Orvan, and we need a cleric to bury these children. So that's a good thing to focus on.
Sure.
And Jarek's shovel. I think he's got a shovel. You've got shovels, right, Jarek?
Of course, I always carry a shovel with me.
And Reed
Even-
does useful stuff too.
Sometimes.
Even when I have people ask me for a shovel, or at least I ask other people for a shovel, I definitely have a shovel with me. Not like when we needed to dig a hole to bury the remains of the wolves that we found ages ago, and I couldn't remember that I had a shovel.
Well, I mean, you were hit on your head. It's okay.
Yes, well, next time don't do that.
Yeah, next time, don't hit me on. Play voice is a little low. Okay, I can figure that out. I can sort that out.
So shall we go?
we go then.
I mean, the other choices are that we have to go to gypsies as well, or
Okay.
back to Tatiana. Well, we
Remember,
do
though,
need to
it's
do
gonna
this.
It's going to be a full day's trip out there, so I don't think we can waste time if we're going to go.
Yeah.
We
So
may
you're
be
right.
staying at the Windmill.
Also,
Plus, there's probably more to see out that way.
yes.
You never know. We
Now,
meet
like,
people on the road all the time, don't we?
well, yeah, those hunters from yesterday. Maybe we
You're
can get some
welcome.
more lay of the land. And like, I've snapped out of it a little bit more now, so I'm like, ah, yes, a task to do. Let's go. Want to get these guys back where they're supposed to go. And maybe get some accomplishment for it.
Right, you are then off to do good things in dark places.
Count me in.
So with that, you finish up the meager food and drink that you've been provided at very little cost. You get yourselves organized, you head out back into the exterior of Berescar village. You notice it's still drizzling. It's not nighttime, as you would this scene would have you believe, but we'll just brighten it up a little bit. It is still very dreary. There's no thunder and lightning, it's just a light rain. Seems to always be drizzly here, for want of a better term. Which we can make a light rain.
Ripple doesn't mind the light rain.
No, I dare say she wouldn't. You head out, like you put cloaks on to try and keep yourselves as dry as possible, and heading westward out of Berescar. You notice there's a few people around. There's maybe one or two people in the street. Again, darkly clothed, sort of hoods up. Don't really pay you much mind as you head westward out of Berescar. Now that might as well go back over this scene then. So you're heading outward out of Berescar to the west, as I said. In this general direction out of the small village, heading back towards the river. The small bridge takes you about 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get to the bridge. You know from your previous excursion out this way that to get to the pool, the lake, river, the lake-like area in the river from the Seer Pool where you met the gypsies, takes you the better part of half a day to get to. As I said, the sun is out but hidden above the fog line and cloud above. Anything you wish to discuss as you travel? The road is damp and muddy. You don't see any wagon tracks. Probably the first thing you notice.
That was the windmill, correct?
The windmill is way up here.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's up past the falls. You do for intents and purposes, we will say you have procured a map of this area. It's not a great map, probably not as detailed as the one that you're seeing, but it has some markings on it. So it does have the river roughly marked on it. You can see where the village of Berescar is marked. You can see where the castle that sits on the cliff top above, which you can see the shadow of through the thin haze of fog as you travel this road. It doesn't have the windmill marked, but Sharik has marked a windmill himself, given information that you guys found in the deed and information from the house gave you a rough idea of where the windmill was located. There is another town northwest of that, pretty much almost on the shores of a large lake. The lake is labeled as Lake Zarevich, and the township is labeled Volaki. And there's a couple other landmarks here and there that are not really labeled, they're sort of just marked on this basic map. But as you can see from the map you're looking at, the forest or the wooded area is patchy in places, thick in others. At the moment, you're crossing over the bridge, you're heading into following the road. If you're staying on the road, you've got trees on either side. And when I say trees, these are not pine trees. They're not rowed up. It's very thick, dense forestry, all manner of different types of large trees, small trees. The foliage is not green. It is very grey. A lot of willows type tree hanging branches and hanging foliage that, again, very grey and dark. As you look into the forestry itself, It's just darkness. You see a few feet before you get that curtain of fog and just darkness. The sounds here are very foreboding as well. Not just the occasional sound of a raven overhead, but it's just odd. The whole area just sounds wrong almost. I don't know why I don't have sound. I should have some ambient sounds here. Where are my sounds? End of the Lost. Here we go. But yeah, so generally it's just foggy, it's drizzly and dark. While I try and find my sounds. There it is. So I'll turn it over to you guys as you...
So on the walk, I've still got the map out, making little notes and stuff on the way, and I walk up beside Reed and I just start showing him, there's another spot here where we could have a look at. It looks like there's been some previous, camping ground potentially here. We could set up some guard posts here. I'll leave that up to you where you want to set up your guard, but we could set it up here as we're walking along, just on different spots.
Yeah, you could always check the river too.
Yeah, I suppose we could. We could get Ripple to do some diving.
Yeah, maybe.
Can we all hear this as well? Are you guys?
you're all walking together, so it's up to them
Absolutely.
whether they're trying
the same
to.
thing.
Are you trying to keep the conversation separate or?
No, I think we're just having casual conversation.
Okay.
It's like,
I would have heard my
Yeah.
name and looked and gone, do we remember what happened last time I dived into a river here?
Well, you stuck your face
You
in the
got
river.
wet?
I stuck my face in. It was not good.
really,
This water's not the same as
Yeah.
good water. It's not good
higher
water.
risk,
See,
maybe
that
it's a
just
higher
means-
reward.
That's what I mean. There could be more to tell.
We'd obviously take precaution.
Yeah.
After you.
I don't float.
So Arcos, instinctually, this would concern you to hear your first mate be afraid of water. This is not something that is normal by any means at all. Like, talk of going in the water, Ripple's the first one there. Every single time. So this would definitely be a concern to you.
They're ideasmen, and they're just ideas and not necessarily foregone conclusions. And you can hear him. His left arm is his metal arm, and he's crunching his fingers into his palm. He's like, it's just ideas. Like, we shouldn't dwell on, misery. They've got ideas, and I'm sure they'll iron them out and think of them very clearly as intelligent people would. So don't worry about it, Ripple. It'll be fine.
Not worried, just a bit wondering why we're thinking about the water.
What exactly do you normally find in the water?
Oh, I love the water. It's like being at home.
It's not this one.
Just not this water. This water was nothing. It was like it took my breath away.
How quickly did it affect you?
Can't remember.
It was almost immediate. Like, you, for the first time, you felt like you were drowning, and that just never happened before, because you can breathe underwater. So you literally could not breathe. It was
I
weird.
dragged you out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Arcos had to pull you out because you felt like you couldn't breathe, but you also felt like you couldn't pull yourself from it either.
No,
There's an easy answer to that. You just hold your breath.
you could do that.
I could.
You could.
I'm probably not as good a swimmer though. See, I'm good at climbing.
Doesn't
didn't
look too
take the
deep.
swimming mutation.
Doesn't look too deep. You could probably just walk in and be fine.
Well, I mean, sometimes the water doesn't like to give up its secrets anyway, so I'm
This is true.
sure there's plenty of good caves around here.
Well, that was more directed at Tariq anyway about what you would find in the water, but anyway.
Oh, the water holds lots of secrets. You know, lots of things get lost in the water and people don't retrieve them. Can't find them even if they go looking.
But
Do you ever find that some secrets are best left unknown?
No, I think there's stories to be told wherever you look. And sometimes the story is shouldn't go there. But until we know, then why stop?
so do you normally just jump randomly into water, or does it tell you something along the way?
No, there's some tools of the trade you need to do proper archaeology. You need to assess the site and make sure that it's got the got all the signs of previous life, and it's a good place to set up camp, set up some defense if needed from all the, creepy crawlies that like to get in every now and again. You never know what you might find in there as well. There might be its own habitat of creatures.
Usually there's creatures in water.
Yeah, once you start digging, and there's all sorts of different discoveries to be made.
This water I'd feel not so much. It didn't feel like life. It felt like death.
Oh, that's usually what an archaeologist finds is the remains. They tell stories. We can find out how long they've been there for. Who were they?
I wonder
Where'd
if
they come from?
anyone who digs you up will ask what your story is,
I hope they
depending
do.
on which
I mean,
place you die.
I hope they do. Can tell the story of the traveling band that was us. When they...
No, just you. Just you right now. What they would think happened. Whether they'd know who it was, you know?
Well, I guess when they find that there are dagger wounds within me and they see the footprints of a Harangan, they'd probably be able to ascertain that I'd been attacked by a wild rabbit.
I'm glad we're on the same page with this, Drake. It's fabulous, really.
You continue onward. Discussions being thrown around. Anyone else got anything to say as we carry on? Orvan, Sayra?
I want to find out about the deed. Seeing as though Sayra did that in their own room. You said that you didn't have the deed anymore. Do you think was it an empty parchment, or was it taken?
Well, I'm starting to think that because the house and the people disappeared, maybe the deed disappeared, but that would mean the bones would also disappear, right?
Well, that's what I'm also worried, not worried, thinking about too, because it should not exist, but why are they, Gustav is a kid now. That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe we are being led to something beyond our knowledge.
If it went, if it's a back in time, but I'm not sure what's going on here in this place.
Have you prayed for guidance?
Yes. She is still there. I don't know what else to do with having her around. She's meant to help us with everything, but she does not. She's just saying she's there. She's not giving me anything else.
It's after the windmill. We'll see where we have to
Mm-hmm.
go. I don't think I can help much here.
That's okay. Maybe if we dedicate this chaos, what happened here to her, she will be pleased by it. And perhaps with some, I'll get something else. Maybe, I don't know. I don't like that I am not in control.
I'm gonna put a hand on her shoulder and just kind of reassure, but without prying too much, you know. I feel like I would know Oravan and what she kind of wants to give and not give away, so I'm just gonna walk with her in silence, and I won't be a feckin' bard and play anything.
Right, no dumb jokes, thank you.
You continue onwards for another hour or so. The road widens in places, narrows in others. The rain eventually subsides. But again, the thick mist that sort of hangs in the air and almost encompasses you as you walk, almost follows you as you walk, in fact. Still keeps the air damp, which means you also remain damp. You're not cold, but you get that sort of dampness on your clothes, and it just feels off anyway. Like, you know that you would have to, when you rest, you're going to have to try and dry off as best you can. You make it to a curve in the road which leads you close to the river, and you can hear the river off to your right hand side to the north, and the sound of the river is somewhat comforting to some of you, disheartening to probably Ripple, who knows what she found there previously. But nonetheless, you maybe for half hour you walk alongside the river. You can see it just in the distance. If you were actually, we'll get everyone to roll another perception check while you're this close to the river. It's D&D. We're going to do some dice rolling, right? So we've got nothing under 10. Look at that. Everyone's above 10. So as you're walking, you notice these ducks sort of flying in and landing on the water. All of you would have seen as one largest duck sort of lands and skids along the water with its feet, as they do as they come in like a plane landing on the water, sort of glides across top of the water and then sinks and starts to swim along. Suddenly, in a flash of feathers and a splash of water, the duck is gone. Something largish has most definitely just devoured this duck. You see the bubbles on the water and disappear slowly, and the water becomes calm again.
I turn and look at Jarek, and I'm like, and you want me to go in there?
From this distance, you could probably determine that whatever it was is probably sizable, alligator, like crocodile size, maybe a little bigger. Like, it was definitely something quite large.
I think we'll need a bigger hook and a bigger rod for that.
You think? That what? Now I want to know what that is.
That might be fun.
No, we're on a mission here. We've got to get to this windmill, and stopping here to see what happened to that duck is not really going to get us where we need to go any faster.
You know,
so tempted,
maybe
but
that
no.
duck will come closer.
The ecosystem, we
hand axe?
don't need to life, death.
Some roast duck for dinner. And then disappear.
Now we know there's stuff in the water that isn't good.
It might taste good, though.
Sticking your face in there anymore.
No. I mean, we could always throw Reed in.
See, the thing about archaeology is it's usually about it's about finding the
Jurek roll?
stories
Yeah,
that
Jurek got a 16.
it's about finding the things that have already passed and
That's
moved
weird.
on into history, not the things that are living. They're less interesting.
Nah, what do you mean found you won't need to change your spells?
I mean, you're alive. Oh, I was, because we had a long rest, I was just gonna rejig one of my spells around, but I cannot open it up to, like, change it to prepared? Or do I need to do it in D&D Beyond?
No, you should be able to do that in here. Where are you? Let's see. Things are slightly different since they've made these updates in here.
Yeah, I can't see
It's not
everything
seeing your
anymore.
full list anymore. That's weird.
No, that's why I was like, what the hell? What happened?
Interesting.
Unless I unprepared? No.
No, that's... We might have to look into that. You let me know which one you want to swap out through your D&D Beyond, and I can change it. So, but that's weird. No, it did have your full list there before. Now it doesn't.
Yeah, that's why I was like, cool. I can't do anything.
That's odd. That's odd.
I'll just put it in the chat. I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, you're good. You tell me which one you want to change out, and I can deal with that. That is very odd though, that it's not listing your unprepared spells.
Yeah, I'll just go through D&D to find.
Unless we go add. No, that's new spell.
It just does add new spell. Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Is it under features? Nope. That is really fucking weird.
Is it just me, or is it locked out for everybody else too?
Well, most other people don't have prepared spells like you do.
Oh.
So that's a cleric thing. I wonder if I go 7 out of 7 prepared. Spell casting. What's the name of the what's the name of the spell you're trying to change?
So I don't want to have Zone of Truth anymore. I just want to have. I hadn't chosen which one. I just wanted to see what my list was first.
That's weird, eh? Yeah, because even searching for the spells, it's not showing. Control space. Clear it. It is a thing.
Moonbolt instead, or Guiding Bolt, one of those two.
Gotta remember where this fucking thing is now. They have. Oh shit! I did a thing that wasn't supposed to happen.
I'll prepare that, and then. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Take us off track.
So you want to remove Zone of Truth?
Yeah, I'll do Guiding Bolt.
Guiding Bolt. No worries. Yeah, that's weird. That's very weird.
Thank you.
I wonder if they've added something to the settings.
Possibly, I'll have to look into it. You now have Guiding Bolt.
Thank you.
Yeah, there'll be something there. Yeah, just take.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys. Like we got to do these things. Got to have people having their stuff that they need. They have made a change to the 5e system in D&D Beyond. Not D&D in this, and is a new thing, which I now can't remember how to find. Which does list all that sort of stuff, and I can't remember where it is, but I will find it. Spells. Like a new search bar thing, and I can't remember where it is now. For the life of me. But never mind. Real good. So, you carry on. You notice this creature kill the duck in the water. You discuss it for a moment, and you also, with your perception rolls, you, in the distance, it's kind of hard. You can't really determine where it's coming from, but sound of singing, perhaps, like a very soft, like young girls, maybe. Like it's almost like a nursery rhyme, but it's very, very distant, very quiet. Again, can't really determine the direction in which it's coming from. So you'd probably pick up that it's definitely a tune, definitely a fairy tale-esque type tune, almost folk sort of songish in nature, but it's just almost on the edge of your hearings. It's very, very distant. Just something to be noted. And I need to try and figure out where the hell this thing is that I've lost.
Ripple's going to have a little bit of a thought. She's going to turn around and she's going to look at the water and she's going to cast shape water and make the water clear so that it can be seen through.
You're going to walk up to the water and try and make the water clear?
Yeah, as part of shape water.
Yes, I know you can make it clear. It's 5 foot, a 5 foot square. You're next to the water. You don't need to put a marker down.
Oh, okay.
Does it cost you the spell?
No, it's a cantrip.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have worried about the marker. So you can change the color of the water's opacity. It becomes clearish. Like you can't make it fully clear, but it's definitely clearer, and you can see into it. It's fairly deep. Like you can't see the bottom because it's only a 5 foot cube. So you got 5 foot by 5 foot of clear water.
I look at Jarek and I'm like, this is what we can see in the water.
The dog's growling again.
Yeah, we can see more water. We have to get to the bottom to make it worthwhile.
I think I'd physically have to be in the water to do that, and I really don't want to do that.
Maybe I will actually try and cast my mage hand and try and scoop out some of the bottom. If it's further than 30 feet, then I won't be able to reach, obviously, but...
Your mage hand, is it visible or invisible?
It's visible.
So your skeletal mage hand, as you cast it, which looks more like a zombie hand that's got bits of flesh hanging from it. It looks very disturbing, to say the least. It's, you move it down, you can reach the bottom. You can scoop out a bit of the sediment from the bottom of the river. It's probably about 20 or so feet deep.
At first, before I just scoop in one scoop, I just sort of move the surface, like wave above the ground, just to clear it a little bit more. See if there's anything that it gets exposed before taking a scoop, bringing it back to the surface.
We won't be able to see it because the water's murky below that 5 feet.
Yeah.
The hand returns and you have a mage handful of dirty sediment from the bottom of a river. Nothing stands out.
Nothing stands out.
A few sticks, stones, like it's nothing. Yes, I said that on purpose. So yeah, there's nothing really untoward or that sort of stands out from this.
It looks like, I mean, it stinks, but I think all dirt at the bottom of a river stinks. But it's been there a while, I think. There's nothing really special to tell about this little piece, but there's more. If I got time, I could go back and scoop up some more. But we don't have time. I'll let my mage hand go and drop it, splash it on the ground.
No worries. And it smells like it smells like old river mud. just like you'd expect it to.
It's just fish poo on the bottom.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Is this what you do in your spare time? Is this assess river mud? Yep,
No.
it's been there a while. Under
I don't
the
actually
water.
spend a lot of time in the water. Not very much at all. I spend most of my time underground. That's where you find all the good bits, usually. But we should get moving.
I guess you could scoop it from other places as well. I don't know what it tells you otherwise.
Well, you got to be patient with archaeology. You don't always find everything in every scoop. You got to keep moving things around until you find things, and
You see your
it takes a
mage
while
hand
sometimes.
like those gold pans. Try to do.
That'll be great.
Just like scooping along, like, oh, there's some treasure here.
I'm gonna smith a sluice box for us.
Yeah, that's it. That's
That's
it.
great. I love it.
Mining gold
Oh, is
in Barovia.
Yanti trying to say something? Can't tell.
Yes,
Oh, we can't hear.
your mic has had a meltdown.
No.
Now,
Yep,
Ah, yes,
we're
we
good.
can. Oh, I found it. Compendium browser. Come
pick
on.
it up and stick it down again. I said, is it like scrying? You're trying to find like a hidden message within the duck poo and the stones and sticks and things like that.
Kind of, but I mean, the best thing to find for an archaeologist is bones. You can tell a
I
lot from
agree.
bones.
Me too.
Oh,
I'm just clutching
pottery.
those kids' boats to be
We're
like,
getting
the best
along.
thing for an archaeologist's guard is a weapon.
Yeah, finding pottery or whatever you can find that tells a story of anyone that has been here before.
With bones.
But,
mean,
what does
We're
that
going
end
to
up
be here a while. I
telling
can
you?
show you. I can teach you all how to do it.
Need you all to roll another perception check as you're all sort of standing on the riverbank, asking this questions and things while Jarek has disturbed the water
Oh,
with his mage
man.
hand.
How dare we just trying to find out some backstory?
I did
Jesus.
it in D&D Beyond and I got nat 20, but I'll reroll and
Yeah,
Oh,
for
no.
some reason, it's not scrolling in Foundry at the moment either. I've
It's-
noticed.
It's like staying wherever you are.
Yeah, I've
and
just
then
had to scroll it up. It's not auto scrolling. Well, that one did. So yes, so everyone except for Saira notices the bubbling, like
very
some
interested in
bubbles
crying. Yeah, I'm very
coming up
interested.
on the water, to maybe 5, 6, 7 feet from the edge where you're currently standing. Just bubbles start to bubble on the surface.
Let's move back from the edge here. Come on, sorry. Let's go back up here. I'm just gonna keep my my eyes on that and back away.
Does everyone follow suit and start to back away from the edge, from the water's edge?
I mean, I'm still talking to Drake unless somebody because I have a 9. So
Yeah.
unless
Makes
somebody
sense.
pulls me away, I'll be like, yeah, tell me all about the bones. You
Yeah,
know,
I think we're just gonna grab the back
Just
of
grab
her
it.
robe and
Just start pulling away.
Follow
As you do
backwards.
so, the water erupts in foam and just spray and probably sprays the bulk of you with water as this large, you were correct in your assumptions earlier with what you saw, a large crocodilian type creature launches from the surface towards the closest person to the water's edge, which would have been Saira as she's being pulled away. Saira, I need you to make a dexterity save for me, please.
I'm Dexy. So
Dexy?
Can I guidance you on that? 'Cause I don't
that's a save or
No,
something.
this
Wait, that's ability.
wouldn't be able to guide her in this particular moment because it'd be reactionary.
Nat 1!
You rolled a 19 first.
Well, that was an ability check because I hit the wrong
Okay,
button.
right. Okay, so natural
That-
one.
the
You do have a
second's the
luck
same.
roll. Remember, you guys got luck rolls.
Do we get our luck rolls back?
Yes, you get them at the start of each session.
Sweet.
So you can
Oh.
re-roll that if you wish.
Yeah. I don't want to.
That's
Okay,
better.
all
That's
right.
better.
20.
A 30-20. So you, as with, I mean, I probably should have given you advantage because Ripper was sort of guiding you. But as this creature erupts from the water and lunges towards you with its giant maw, it misses you by mere inches as Ripple sort of pulls you away from the water's edge, and it lands heavily on the ground, heavy thud, and then snaps a couple more times and then slowly drifts back into the water. Again, very crocodilian. It has, from what you could tell,
Whoa.
it had more than 4 legs. It might have had 6-ish. It was kind of weird,
What?
but it was 200 pounds easy, like maybe 300. It was just massive. Its head a good foot across. Dark
What in
scales.
Newton's frock was that?
Okay, so maybe we don't sluice the river. You know,
That's what I'm here for, right?
unless you, you have God, I suppose.
Walk and talk, maybe. Just, move towards
It was
this
probably
windmill.
somebody's pet at one point.
Someone
Oh,
flushed
yeah.
it.
Wow, that was
Precisely.
close.
I give Ripple a big hug. She saved me.
I kind of hold on to her like, I'm so pleased you're okay.
You continue onwards, following the road. Another hour goes by with little consequence, little things happen. You hear and see a larger crow than normal sort of flying overhead. It circles you a couple of times, then disappears. Eventually, you make the turn in the road, which gives you line of sight to the encampment where the gypsies had camped the previous day, where you had camped, in fact, spent the night a couple of days ago now. There are tents still there. There is still smoke coming from a smaller fire in the center. Not as many as there were previously. Do you intend to stop? It is probably just past lunchtime. Probably looking early afternoon at this point. You know it's going to take you at least through to the following day to get to the windmill. So it's up to you whether you want to camp here or you want to find somewhere else to camp. But you still have a few hours of daylight left.
This is what we're seeing now is kind of like the map we were given, right?
More or less. Like the encampment's not marked on the map, but you know where it was. You have been there. So you can now see it in the distance where the camp was. There are still tents there.
A point in the distance to it and say, what do we want to do? Quite a ways.
Is there anybody? Can we see anybody?
From this distance, probably not, but you can imagine with the fire that there's smoke trailing from a fire and you can see tents, so you would imagine there's people there.
Like, Sayera, maybe your person's there. Yvonne.
Who? Oh. My first name changes with the moon, but
Oh, I mean,
it's pretty good. Yeah, back hair. I don't know. You can see, and I'll turn my skirts to colorful, show some color, and start marching forward if anyone objects. I don't know.
I mean, we're going through it anyway. May as well.
Yeah,
Just
see
check.
if there's people.
They might have some good food that doesn't taste like nothing.
You get closer and you start to smell food because they tend to cook a lot of flavorful and amazing type foods, as most gypsies do. You can start to hear song and laughter. Again, not as jovial and as many as you had previously encountered. So that once you get close enough, you can see that it's a much smaller encampment, maybe 4 or 5 tents as opposed to the dozen or so that were there previously. As you get closer, you don't see Ivan anywhere. Like, it seems to be a different group than previously camped here. So up to how you approach, if you do.
So I'll approach. If I see the camp and they look sort of friendly, I will wave like I'm just one of the group kind of thing, and have my tambourine hanging at my side so they kind of know my profession, and you know.
As you approach, an older gentleman stands and waves as you get closer. Good afternoon. Good to see travelers on the road. My name is Peter. What is yours? And why are you traveling today? It is average day. Good for traveling, no less.
Sayura, and this is these are my friends, and we have just left. Is it Baraska?
Baraska.
Baraska. Which was the food did not smell as good as yours, definitely.
Food around here is terrible. You come eat real food, yes. Come. All welcome. Come, sit, drink, eat. We got plenty to spare.
We're good. Let's go. Come on.
Okay. Just gonna go in.
After
Unless
not
you're moving
eating
on. Yeah.
this morning, Ripple's like, yeah,
Garbage food.
definitely hungry.
Great. Food for our visitors, please. Gather, sit, have food. You drink, yes? He looks around and he's got a large bottle of wine.
Do we drink? Oh, come on.
Of course. Look at you. Of course you drink. What about the rest of you? You drink? Yes, I think so.
I really, just a small...
I will take no refusal. Please, drink. You offer great offense if you do not drink.
I understand. But I can see he's just filling. And I'm like,
Yeah, he just starts pouring
I'm
cups
here,
of wine
just
through the
gonna have
wine.
this.
You get the impression, like, he gives that impression he's not going to take any refusal. Like, he just starts pouring and handing out wine cups to everyone.
And considering the last time when everybody gave me dirty looks about not drinking, I'm just gonna try and take it slower, but it's still drink. I will drink.
I mean, it doesn't look like he's going to force a drinking competition or any kind of heavy drinking. It seems more of a customary thing. You have food, you must have wine with your food, and the rest of them. Again, is a smattering of age groups here. It's only about maybe 10 or 12, if that. Young and old. Peter seems to be the person in charge of this particular group, and he's sort of ordering people around, but not really, like just asking them to do things and that sort of doing it. And there's song, there's dance, there's good food, and it's a good hearty sort of Barovian stew. Like it's got rabbit, and it's got root vegetables, it's got a wine sort of gravy to it. You can sort of taste that real vinegary sort of wine taste with the gravy that comes with it. It's a very, very hearty meal. Much better than what you've had previously at Beriskar in the Beriskar village. And obviously the colours, all these people are wearing colourful garb. They're animated. They have sense of humour, where some other people you've met so far just are very drab and no real personality to speak of. Whereas these people are the complete opposite.
Yeah, we're not speaking about Gregor here.
You are traveling from Beriskar. What does journey take you? Where does your journey take you today?
Look at like my group to see if kind of like with the face, like, are we telling him the truth, or are we gonna like, what do you guys wanna, you know what I mean? Like that face, like, are we gonna? And
Yeah,
like,
let's.
We're headed to a windmill.
We are headed to a windmill.
I was like, Reed's just gonna fucking do it anyway.
yeah, there you go.
And there are plenty of windmills here in Barovia, but any windmill in particular, I mean, There's one north of here. There's one west of here. A couple south. I mean, if you want the same windmill, I mean, no, you do not know that it's called the Bone Grinder. All you know is it's just the Durst. You know it as the Durst Windmill.
It
Where
was
did the bone grinder come from? Excuse me. That
Sorry.
sounds metal as fuck. Bone grinder. All right, let's go.
That is a
Sorry.
little bit of meta on Nutty's
That was
part.
a bit of metagaming. You don't know
The
that.
metagamer comes out.
Jeez.
The bone grinder happened in the last gypsy camp. Oh wait.
That's now Sawyer's nickname. I mean,
Oh God! All right. It was owned by
Little elbow
Woodstock
greaser.
Durst. Did you know the Durst?
the
Windmill?
Durst Windmill. That is the one west of here. Yes, yes.
So
Well
it's real.
known story, that one. It's good story.
Ooh.
You want to hear story of Dursts and what happened to them? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Well, many
But they make good
years
chocolate
ago,
as well.
generations ago, in fact, Gustav and his wife moved into a family home in Berska. But Gustav was dark man, very dark. He had, dark intentions for things. Wanted to be rich, wanted to be powerful, and started a cult. You see, making sacrifice and enticing people to home and inviting to dinner party and then taking them to a basement. And there's rumors say they murdered people there and gained money and power. But the entity, the evil that he was worshipping, was not happy with what he was doing and how he was doing it. Some say he stepped on the toes of some great evil, and that evil smote him down along with his family, turned him into a ghoul or a ghast or some such thing. And the rumors say that he wanders the whole of his house and traps away unwitting travelers, sends them to their death. It's a great story. I don't know how much of it is true, but that is what we hear. I've never actually been to Berska myself, and I'm not one for village. I like out here in forest. It's freedom.
Do you know what the name of the entity was that he was?
No, this is
You're
not
trying-
something that I am familiar with. It's just stories, rumor,
Ah,
that there was ancient evil from old times.
Wow. Gosh.
Very powerful.
Things you don't realize just looking at a house from outside.
Yeah, something for
Lots
Jarek
of
to
stories.
dig up later, right, Jarek?
No, for sure, but it's not my specialty, that sort of thing.
You're a historian.
Get an expert in the area.
You make history, or you talk about history, yes?
I like to discover history where I can.
Or Barovia full of history.
Yeah,
Some good, some bad. Just like everywhere.
It's the Durst
History is
Windmill.
history.
No, because the Jarek's wanting to dig around, looking up for, different things there, maybe.
Oh, you be careful where you dig around here. Lots of things do not stay buried once they die. I'm sure you figured that out by now.
No.
Well, let's just say, if you die here, you stay here. That is what I'm told.
Oh, good to know.
Is there a way to stop that? Can we?
Yeah, not die.
How do we leave here? How do we leave here?
Leave. The same way you came, from road. That's how we go. We go east, we go west, we go north, we go south. Just follow road.
So the road to the east, the west. Where does the road to the west lead us?
You're on the road to west. You're heading
We're on
west
the road to the west?
towards Windmill. That is road
So
west.
after the windmill, we just keep following this road, and eventually we will end up.
If you follow this road, you'll end up in town of Villaki, but you may not fit in there very well. Looking at you, Sire, they don't like our kind there. Most village the same.
Got
Very-
different skirts.
how you say, stuck up. Don't like to have fun. Very, very stuffy.
Similar to Beriska?
Most village like this.
Okay.
If you travel further westward, after Vilaki, you will find, well, you got Lake Kazarovich above that, you got Lake Baratok, you've got, you need to cross Raven River, then you will come across Kresk, another small town. Not very nice people there. But, again, we gypsies, no one likes us very much.
How
And
long?
then from there, you might, you follow road. Keep going.
How long? Do we have any, like, how many days?
By wagon, 5-6 days.
By feet?
Couple extra, maybe 10.
Okay. So maybe 10 days we walk, we find our way out to the
But
next.
it's not, why would you want to leave such a beautiful place? Look at it. It's one, I mean, it's
Oh, it's
raining,
beautiful. But we want to go home.
but this is fair. This is fair.
We have things at home that we need to finish. No ill intent
Well,
to this place.
All I would say is if you try to get home and you cannot, you come find me again. We have bigger camp south of Vilaki. You come visit
South
us
of
there.
Milwaukee.
You come and see us there, and we will help you find your way home.
And
Is that where all of you convened? Because we ran into the group with Ivan and
Ivan, yes. Madam Eva, yeah, they will be at the main camp, yes. That is where most of us will eventually end up. We travel all over Profia. We travel everywhere. We peddle. I was thinking of peddling around, forgive me. Are you interested in purchasing anything, perhaps? We have potion, we have weapon, we have armor, we have pretty much everything. Would you like to buy?
potions.
see his
What
eyes
kind of
light up.
potions do you have?
Oh, we have all sorts of potion.
Do you have a healing potion?
Of course, of course.
How much?
500 gold pieces.
100 gold pieces.
500 gold pieces.
150 gold pieces.
700 gold pieces.
Okay, 1 gold piece.
would you trade?
I'm
Well, what have you got to
looking at how
trade?
much gold I have.
These things are very rare. We do not. We trade all around, and our prices may be a
500
little
gold
steep.
pieces. 450. I could do 450 gold pieces.
Tell you what, because I like you and you play good music. I can see it. Again, looking at you, Sire.
She can do more than play music.
I was about, as he's saying that, I'm pulling,
the music.
I'm pulling out a flute, a lute, a lyre, and I'm laying them out because I have a lot of instruments that came with my
I too have a
Like,
flute.
and
that I can remember.
I lay them out. You know what? I don't use these much. Could these be in trade for a discount for ripples?
Well. And he picks up. Which one are you? What are you willing to offer?
Can we take 50 gold for like each maybe off? I've got a lyre. This lyre's beautiful. It's like a
I can add
Angels.
a drum. I have a drum I can add to that.
He picks up the instruments and looks them over, and you can tell that he knows what he's looking at. He looks at on the lyre. He's looking at all the joints and where everything, like tuning pegs, like he's looking at everything very closely. Looks over the drum, checks where the skin is pulled taut over the body of the drum, and eventually puts them down. He says, "Tell you what, for you, I take instruments and I give you for 200 gold pieces. This is fair
Deal.
price, yes."
Deal.
So I will put a potion of healing into your inventory,
And I
Ripple?
will take 200 gold off.
and you take 200 gold off. You should just be able to highlight it and edit it.
Done it.
So what?
And
You
I'll
know this
remove
area.
my drum.
And
You know
remove,
this area?
remove your instruments. Yes, I do. I have lived here my whole life.
What weapons do you suggest we use? What sort of creatures do we have to come across?
Well, many creatures here. There is a bear, wolf, large, not sure what you would call them. We call them swimming teeth, basically. They live in water. There's only a few of them, but they ambush predators. If you get too close to shore, make too much noise, they will jump up and bite face off. But apart from that, giant spider, other people, the usual. And that is just during the day. At night, different story.
What weapons do you have? Not really for myself. I tend to use this, and I point to my whip.
Looks fine weapon. But he sort of pulls out a small chest and dumps on the ground, opens it up. And when he sees weapons, there's daggers, there's short swords, and none of them look amazing. Like, it's all pretty mundane stuff. A lot of them are chipped and rusted, and there's not fancy at all. Serviceable weapon. Good price. And he pulls out a few pieces of armor too, which is much the same. So you got a little bit of leather armor that's looking like it's a bit rotted, and it's all very basic, mundane stuff that doesn't look very good.
I think I'm okay with what we've got here, but we're going on this bit of a journey. It might be worth...
Well, you're looking for a good weapon, like fancy weapon.
Well,
perhaps.
Not so much for me, but more for Reed here.
Well, I heard rumor that there's a blacksmith in Villaki that might sell weapons, armor, that you might find more useful, perhaps. But he's very particular about who he sells to. So
How? Why?
it's a little,
What?
well, rumors again, but
Oh, he's got the tea. Let's go.
it is, how you say, black market. Hush, hush. Like, he's not supposed to have these things, but he does. And again, he's very particular about who he sells to and who he tells about these things.
Do you have
We
any?
need to have passwords.
Because of the man on the hill, I suppose.
He did not hear that from me. And he sort of turns away as he sort of says that and goes back to and has another drink of wine.
I have probably one more question.
Of course. Then we
Being
drink,
interested
yes.
in... Yeah, of course. Being interested in things of the past, are there any stories of legendary warriors or their legendary weapons?
Well, not so much legend. Well, there is one story. It's an ancient story. Again, not sure if it's true or false, but there is a story of the great Prince Strad that rules over these lands, and his younger brother. That his younger brother had weapon, very powerful weapon. Said it harnessed the very sunlight. I've never seen it, I've never heard of it, but it is an interesting story. But he is long dead, and sword has vanished. No one knows where it was, or even if it has existed. I believe, what did they call it? I think they just called it the Sword of Light or Sun Sword or something like that. But again, rumors, stories. But the great Prince Strad come to these lands a long time ago, and he saved these lands from invaders and made it his home. Built the castle for his mother. The castle Ravenloft is what it's called. He named it for his mother, Queen Ravonia, and his father, Prince Beroff, or King Beroff, which I'll find the region is named after him, Berofia, King Beroff. But their family has been here for generations. They've looked after us and kept this place pretty much as it is now. No invaders, no one really comes here. Get the occasional visitors like yourself, but they generally don't stay long.
Oh, would the sword be A weapon of vengeance?
You could call it that, I guess.
It was just a weapon of light.
Well, it was his brother. The name escapes me for now, but Sergei, I think his name was. He was murdered. Not sure by who or by what, but apparently sword was sent away by who we do not know. Again, story is quite vague.
This whole time, I've drunk my drink and I feel like, but I've left like a little pink. I'm assuming it's red wine.
Yeah.
And I've filled my canteen, like took my canteen and kind of made it still look pink, and then just switched with Orvan. Took her drink.
And I'm not even going to make you roll for that because he's involved in the story. He's quite animated, so he's not taking much notice of what's going on with that sort of thing. He then goes on. Another interesting character of this land is the Mad Mage. He's a Mad Mage of Baratok from the mountains. I'm not sure if he still lives there, but if you go north of, northeast of Vallaki through forest and up into the mountains. Apparently he is a recluse, lives up there, and no one has seen him in years, but some people say they hear things from mountain which suggests that he may still be there. But he's quite mad. And some say it's because of sword that he is mad. Who knows?
Well, I guess that's worth investigating. But my back where, at least where I'm from, my trade is to investigate the past. I like to dig and find stories in what's left behind. Is that common around here? Is that allowed?
Not that I'm aware of. Don't see many people digging things up around here unless it's digging a hole to bury someone.
So if there was anything we were to find, what any rules around that?
I'm gypsy. I have no rules. I am the wrong person to ask.
Good to know.
If you are worried about what would happen if you were to be grave robber, because that's what you sound like to me, is Prince Strad would be the one you would have to deal with. This is his land. These are his peoples. So if you are wanting to dig things up and uncover past, then you probably should ask him.
Point taken. Well, any chance you can put in a good word for us in this blacksmith?
Did Tariq react to the grave robber, like, accusation?
I pulled the face, like it was, but I didn't pull him up on it.
Okay.
Peter, he looks at you and says, well, you see, I have no plans to go to Vallaki anytime soon. We are heading in opposite direction, but I'm sure you will figure it out. You seem like nice people. As long as you are respectful and are careful and not make waves with wrong people, you should be fine.
I won't tell you my name.
Took me a minute.
I mean, if we are traveling a lot too, you guys have horses. Do you know of a place to go and get some easier means of traveling?
Traveling in this land is not as easy as you think. Horses are scarce and very expensive. If you're asking that we will sell you horse, I'm afraid not. We have what we have to pull cart, and that is it.
No, not you. Somewhere else.
Vallaki,
Not take away your transportation.
Vallaki may be able to accommodate, but again, it will be expensive. The horses are not very, what's his word? There's not many here.
More food, less horse?
No, lots of wolf and werewolf eat horse, so not many horse. Usually a werewolf and wolf attack, horse is first thing to get killed.
And werewolves are pretty prevalent around these parts, I've noticed.
Oh yes, we have a lot of werewolf here.
Time as well, sorry, just like, it's the first time someone's actually specifically said werewolf, right?
Yes. No, the hunters mentioned werewolves to you as well.
Oh, true.
I believe, yeah, so they mentioned the werewolves as well as wolves in general. And I believe the mayor of Berescar, Irina, also mentioned werewolves.
Okay.
How often do the werewolves come out?
Mostly at night, of course. But
Every night?
well, not every night. Once or twice a month, but always worse than full moon, of course. They seem to hunt in larger packs in full moon, and they seem to be a lot more aggressive during full moon.
Ripple's pretending that she knows exactly what werewolves are all about with the whole monkey song.
It's like, we haven't encountered that.
He goes to explain that the reason that they seem to be more aggressive during a full moon is that seems to be the time that newly infected lycanthropes will make their first kill as well.
Okay.
Which is why they're a lot more aggressive. Right, enough of the seriousness. Time for drink and food and party.
Drink, food, and party sounds good, but
by this time, you've probably spent another hour or so. So we're getting into sort of mid-afternoon. So again, you don't have to stay here if you do not wish. You can continue to move onwards. But he has offered for you to stay if you wish. Again, reiterating the dangers of being out at night if you're not prepared.
How long will it take us, do you think, to get to the Durst Windmill from here?
Best part of day and a half, perhaps. Full day at least.
From here?
From here, yes.
I look at everybody else and I think, oh, should we
You've got to pass.
It gets further and further away every time.
You've got to pass. You've got to pass Waterfall, which is about 5 or 6 hours from here. From there, you head north to Gate, and then from Gate you travel onwards maybe another half day. So day and a bit, perhaps. Time is all relative around here. We don't really track it.
Safe place in between for us to stop for the night?
Near Waterfall is relatively safe camping ground there.
Okay.
You have Waterfall at your back, clear line of sight to forest. You make good fire, keeps wolves at bay. They do not like fire.
We do need to get to that windmill. We should probably not stay as much.
It's an unobtainable goal that we have never hit.
Appreciate the offer, but maybe
wibbly
we should
wobbly,
carry
timey-wimey stuff. You will find that a lot, that everyone here is going to give you a different timeline.
So maybe we need to carry on, or we are never going to get there, and we really need to get there. We have...
No, stay, drink, eat,
we
travel
will
tomorrow.
Come back and eat. No, I'm going to look at everybody else and say, what do you guys think? Because I feel like I've done most of the talking.
I'm interested to see your larger camp in south of Valaki, so I think what we'll do is we'll head up there and then we'll stop by and visit the whole family.
Good. That's a good idea. More trade and more party and more drink. Yes.
Oh, yeah. We might have some things extra for you to buy and sell. So.
Of course. Trade is good.
Probably some ground bones, apparently.
I'm sure Madame Eva will use them in ritual, so bone powder will work quite nicely.
Bone powder's good for rituals, as a little warlocky type.
Oh, God.
I might have some in my pocket. But I'm not going to show you.
I mean, I could grind these, but anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
onwards, let's
How
go.
much wine have you had? All right.
Oh, well.
Much appreciation for your hospitality, though, Peter. Very, very lovely to meet you.
Likewise, I wish you all best in travels.
Thanks.
Stay safe, stay on the road, and do not venture too far in forest at night. And
These
he
boys
allows you to
don't look
leave.
very happy. Are you all right there, Captain? Very quiet.
Yeah, I think we should probably. You're right. We should go. It's been great. It's been fun. This food's quite good. The wine probably even more so. Thank you very much. We'll catch you on the next one. And he starts like trying to push whoever's near him. Like, let's go, because last time we hung out with just it wasn't good for me, and I don't like it.
I would say, roll me a perception check, Arcos. And I forgot to do this before, and I should actually remembered, but I'll do it now. As you get yourselves packing up, you sort of walk naturally. You walk past the caravan where he had all his bits and pieces. Natty 20 from Arcos there, and lo and behold, in the back of this wagon of goods, you see your tricorn hat just sitting on top of a pile of clothes and armor.
Good day, sir. Thank you.
And do you all move on with Arcos as he tries to hurry things along?
I wouldn't know, so.
No, none of you would have noticed what he noticed. Like only he would have realized what that significance was.
And I'm happy to take perceptions at disadvantage since I tanked on 2 wines in a short amount.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. You start heading westward again, following the road, leaving the Seaport camp, heading towards the waterfall that he spoke of. And as you get closer to it, obviously you start to hear the waterfall in the distance. I need to find my image of it.
Make water sounds.
Oh, we'll get there. But we will activate this.
Question is, are we going to the north side?
And now we all
Or the
need to
south
pee.
side.
Thank you.
And speaking of peeing, on that note, we will, as you approach the waterfall and you get to the bridge, and in the distance you see this massive waterfall. It's hundreds of feet tall, and it's just the water's cascading over the rocks and down into this big pool at the bottom. Off in the distance, you can see what looks to be a flattened piece of ground off to the right-hand side of the windmill, of the waterfall, not windmill, and which would likely be a good place to camp. You've got maybe 2 or 3 hours of sunlight left before it does set. It's going to take you maybe an hour to get to this campsite from where you currently are. So you do have time. But on that note, we will take a short break. We will be right back, ladies and germs. We're going to take a short break, take a pee break, get a drink, do the things and the stuff. We shall return momentarily.
in his hat that he took with him now, by the
Oh, you
way.
do? Awesome. We're back, chap. So what is in Arcos's what was in his cat?
He made a little sort of map wrap
Yeah.
with a part of the Green Dragon scale
All right. Yep.
carved into it, and I don't know what the symbol looked like, but it was sort of like a symbol that meant something to him and his crew. And it used to have a map in it, and the map's gone, and the map was just all the places he'd been since starting out from was it Neverwinter we started out from to
Yeah.
Phandalin?
Yeah.
And
That makes
Yeah.
sense. So it'll have significant. The map would have had significant markings on it
Yeah.
for his travels
yeah,
over the
and he
years.
would have had notes on it. Would have been
Would have been quite important
very
to him.
personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back, chap. Thank you for hanging out with us again tonight. I appreciate it. For this 11th episode of our story. I will briefly show you what the players are seeing at the moment. This is what they are seeing.
She's turned into a shark.
Oh my god, she's a shark head.
It's a whole ass onesie, but the apparently the
A shark head.
the fins, I can't use my own hands, and also there's a tail, and that just encompasses my feet, so I can't use it as an actual.
What are you doing under the dog? Move.
Very annoying. But I can use it as a hoodie, so that'll do.
I know you're looking for food, but you're not getting any.
I'm envious that you're cool enough to need something like that.
I know.
I know,
It's
so hot.
the vent is like directly on me.
Yeah.
It always makes me cold.
So, as I said, you approach the bridge that overlooks the falls, and this is essentially what you see. The falls falling from the top of the cliff face down through, creating, again, more of a mist as the water hits the surface, and it's curling up through the top. It creates a bit of a breeze on this bridge, and quite stunning view, and even more so if it was a beautiful sunny day, even though in this place it doesn't really have that. It's kind of dreary, but still very stunning nonetheless. Do you carry on, or do you stay here for a bit?
I think we're gonna make camp here, right?
But you can make camp on the other side of it, sure.
I want to take a closer look as close as we can get, to see if there is any sort of cave in behind the waterfall.
You would have to get into the water to determine that. Because as you get closer to the waterfall and you get to where the flat ground is for the encampments, we'll go back to the Barovian map so I can show you where you're at. So this, where you are on here, is pretty much to the right hand side of the falls. The height of the falls, now that you're actually at the base of it, is 400 feet. It's very, very high. The cliff face that you're now looking up at is vast as well. Again, I say 400 feet in places, 500 in others. The waterfall is very fast running. It is loud, yet not so loud that it's uncomfortable or anything like that. The sound of the water could bring comfort to many of those that travel the water, perhaps. Visually, the rock face up and around behind either side of the waterfall looks very jagged and very difficult to traverse. quite up to you if you wish to try to do so. If you want to go looking for a cave, it's going to take much more of a hands-on thing than just a visual inspection to see if there's anything behind this waterfall.
Well, if we're setting up camp here, I'm interested to know if there's something behind the waterfall. I'm worried about being like whether if there is one, if there is a cave in there, if it may not be as safe a spot as we think. Plus, caves might also be worth exploring. I can probably give it a go, but it's going to take some climbing.
That's your thing, right? Aside from digging up dead things, climbing. You're really good at climbing, right? So you should be fine. It'd be great.
Yeah, I can climb better than most. But I mean, it's wet rock. Might be slimy as well.
I mean, I don't think you should, but every time I've told you not to do something, you just tend to do it. So, you know, if you fall horribly, we will try and save you. Just, I don't know what comfort that is to you, but we'll do our best. But if you're going to do something really stupid, which is also one of your trademarks, as you will.
Go mage. Can you
have to
mage
give
hand?
me-
I can
I was
sneakily
gonna
cast
say,
Can you
spider
like,
climb.
yeah, can Mage Hand, does it go up against a, like if it comes up against a
Wall.
solid thingy, does it go, you can't go through it, right?
Correct.
So you may be able to see it if you use that.
But I can only send it 30 feet.
Do you really want to go up there yourself?
I'm just curious. It might not be super safe if we all fall asleep and something comes out of the waterfall.
Because I can cast spider climb. And you
maybe
can just walk up the wall.
maybe a ripple can part the water? You know.
I think you can probably save you spell. I'm pretty good at acrobatics as well, and I can get myself a bonus on that if I use my abilities as well.
Okay. He's not willing, so I can't cast it if he's not willing. It's
I just go up to Ripple and I'm like, was that nice? Was it pleasant? Did
no,
I
that was
seem
good.
concerned?
You did seem concerned
Thank you.
in your way. You did
Yeah,
good.
I have to have another conversation with you though, Arcos. I have to find out what exact times it was that you said not to do something, and I didn't.
Maybe I wasn't very clear in the times where you went and ate that food that wasn't actually there, or I mean, it was mostly.
I was already
Orvan
eating
that-
the food when you said not to, though.
You could have stopped at any time.
It tasted nice.
Maybe I was just thinking it. Maybe I should be more clear with my. It's fine. You do what you want. You're a man of the world with your companion here who doesn't say much, and he sort of slaps Reed on the side. Hey, are you with us?
Eating breadcrumbs. What do you like?
I just wanted to make sure you're still kind of with us. You've been kind of quiet.
And you better hold
Well-
off on those breadcrumbs. We wouldn't want you to be short and round.
It's no time for love, Dr. Jones.
If he wants to climb, let him climb.
He can climb.
That's what
Oh,
I
wait.
said.
I was just seeing if I could be helpful.
I will wait till the last minute, and then I'll put a hand on his shoulder and say, "I'm sure you'll be fine," and I'll cast guidance. So he can have a little oomph.
Oh, I wasn't going to.
I was looking at Orvan thinking, I wonder if she'll heal him before he hits the ground.
I can protect him
Just
from a
bring it
lot of
back up.
things,
It's fine.
but I can't protect him from gravity.
So with that, you have guidance as well. So you have a D4 with guidance D4.
Sorry.
So what are you going
Dog
to
barking
do?
in the background outside. Going to activate my blade song,
Okie dokie.
which should give me advantage on acrobatics as well.
Indeed. I mean,
And
I would have given you advantage on the skill anyway, because this is your thing. So.
And I'm going to try and climb up the side to get a better vantage point.
We'll make your first roll. So as you're sort of looking at it, if you give me a quick perception check first. What are the rest of you doing as he makes this assessment and starts to look for a place to climb?
Just watching in horror.
So you're just going to watch.
Gathering wood.
You're going to gather wood for a fire. Okay. So any perception checks you're making in relation to this will be a disadvantage because you're preoccupied. Arcos.
Arcos has decided that he's going to try and find some soft stuff to collect to put under him just in case he plummets to his death.
Very cool. And Sawyer, are you standing with Ripple and Orvan watching?
I get out my crystal ball to see if this is a dumb idea, but then I think about it and I slowly put it back in my bag.
Fair enough.
I don't think you need that.
I will get a fire ready.
So with your low perception roll of 7, you think you find a reasonable place to start climbing. So we'll get your first acrobatics check. Actually, no, it's just a straight dex on this one, just to get your foot and get up there. So straight dex roll with advantage, though. Just a dex check. That's a low roll. 16. 16's not bad. You find some footing. You use your claws, your hand, which are on both hand and foot, and you find grip, you find purchase. The rock is slippery, it is slick from the overspray of this large falls. It's kind of hard to get a position where you can see in behind it at this point, especially towards the base of the bottom. It's pretty gnarly at the bottom with the spray and everything else. You need to get a little higher before you be able to get in behind it. So you scale maybe 15, 20 feet relatively easily. You're taking your time, you're being careful. I'll get another dexterity check at advantage, please, as you start to scale higher and start to move in towards the waterfall. Ooh, that's a low one. You reach up with your left hand. You can use your luck. Okay. Wasn't a natural one, so it wouldn't have been a terrible failure. But how long does guidance last? On a single roll, or does it last for a minute? 1 minute and concentration, yeah? No, it's not concentration, is it?
Yeah, usually it is.
Yes, up to 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my blade song is also a minute.
Yeah, sweet. So we'll give you the D4 for now. You scale up, you slip, your hand goes up and you slip off that first, you sort of slip off the rock, but then you focus and grab onto another piece just below, and you right yourself, you take a moment, you steady yourself, and then you start to climb again. Climb another 15, 20 feet. Now you're sort of at a bit of a situation where you're going to have to swing across to the underside of the water, to the, sort of the inside of the waterfall. You can see where there's a break in the water. You can see where it dips in behind the waterfall. But it's not just a matter of climbing across. It's going to be a bit of a jump. So this will be acrobatics, as you need to jump maybe 8 feet from right to left. Natural 20. I could be a real cunt here, eh? I think I'm going to, because I don't use it very often. So, Mr. Zarek, I'm going to negate your natural 20, give you back your luck, and get you to re-roll that. Still an advantage. So not a natural 20, but still high enough to succeed. You steady yourself. You take a bit of a swing backwards and forwards, and then you throw yourself to the left both hands reaching out, and you find purchase immediately, claws digging into the rock. It's a little sharp. It doesn't hurt, but you can feel that pressure on the inside of your hands on the sharp granite, hard rock that this is, and it's a very dark stone as well. You're now hanging beneath the waterfall. The rest of you can now no longer see Jarik. He is out of view. He's gone in behind this raging waterfall. It is very loud under here. It is very slick as well. So your next 2 rolls are going to be straight rolls, because I would say I would impose disadvantage with your current situation, but because of your advantage, it'll be a straight roll. So I need you to make another acrobatics check, as you need to now jump up about 4 feet to get to the next lot of handholds before you get to a small plateau. This will be your last D4, by the way. So 19 with the D4. You jump up, reaching the small platform beneath the waterfall. You're now standing on a small outcrop, which is maybe 2 feet wide, and like widthways, and maybe a foot deep. So you're having to sort of stand back against the rock face, lest you be forced off with the pressure from the water and just the sheer wind that's been whipped up underneath you as well. It is pretty intense under here. You have a good look around. You don't see any potential entrances or exits of a cave system here. You can go further up. You're probably, by this stage, I would say maybe 60 feet from the ground or from the base of the waterfall. It's up to you whether you want to continue upwards or sideways. I mean, if you want to continue, I'll let that decision be yours.
I think at this point, if I have gone this far and I can't see any signs of it from where I am, up or down, then I will just make my way back out.
I'll need 2 checks to make your way back to the bottom. So you'll need one acrobatics, 1 dexterity. The first one will be at straight roll. The second one will be at advantage because you'll be out of the waterfall. So make your first one straight roll, acrobatics. Natural 20. Easily enough done. Your Simic lineage allows you to make that leap of faith from where you're currently standing, and you jump 15, 16 feet downward and use your claws to grab the rock and almost slide into a better position where you can get footing, which now has you visible again to the group. You can now see him deftly moving along this rock face. He's now back into view, starts moving down the rock face. I'll get the last at just a dexterity with advantage without your D4. Even without the advantage, unless you get a natural 20, which you didn't, dirty 20. You allow yourself to sort of just slide the rest of the way down using your hands and feet just to catch a ledge here and there, and just very deftly, just from rock to rock, from outcropping to outcropping until you reach a safe enough thing to just drop down, back down to ground level. You are wet through the waterfall's spray, but you are safely back with the group on the ground.
Well, I'm panting a bit. That I went about as far as I considered safe. Couldn't see anything, so I think we might be okay.
You're
It was tough. I wouldn't have recommended it to anybody else. Got a little hairy there for a minute, but I got a little lucky.
Some of us can walk up walls. You could have walked up the wall.
I did.
No hairy.
I mean, he kind of did, right? In his
I
own
mean,
way.
the pressure of the water I would have been worried about if I wasn't holding on anyway, so... It was quite windy up there, like, just the full force of the water was blowing me around. But I think we're okay.
Anything of any great
We weren't
moment?
worried at all. And he starts like kicking all the stuff he's gathered.
I'd say that would be
No,
pretty
just-
obvious. A nice wee pile of sticks and
firewood,
shrubbery and
I
just
thought
almost like a
slightly-
mattress.
As he was moving around, I'm like trying to move it. I'm like, and then I lost sight of him, and I'm like, I'm just gonna like eyeball this, like one eyeball, because his other eye's kind of fucked. He's like, oh, this is good enough. It's fine.
I lean into Reed and I just whisper into his ear and I go, I think I'm making progress with him.
So in the meantime, Reed has gathered firewood, and I would imagine has started a fire. Even though they're probably not in your guys' inventory, I don't really care. You would have had tents.
I have a
Tents is some-
tinderbox.
yeah, so tents you would have had, tinderbox, all that sort of stuff. You generally carry that sort of thing. So you would have set your tents up, or started to at least do that. You've got plenty of time to do that before the sun goes down, and get a decent fire going. So therein lies the next issue. Are you going to have a watch order? Are you going to just go to sleep?
Oh,
What is
we need
the
a watch.
plan? What is the plan for the evening as you are now all seated around a small encampment with a campfire going? What rations you have, you can cook up, or if anyone wants to go hunting, we can do a survival check for that. If you want fresh meat, if you're happy to use rations and water, that's up to you.
I do have a 2-person tent as well that I can set up.
I would say
You would
we
all carry
definitely need
tents.
to have we definitely need to have a watch tonight, just to be safe.
Take first
Okay.
watch.
My
Do
question
we
is,
do
do
it
we
in
watch the
twos?
water or do we watch the woods?
You're saying
Right.
2 watches at a time.
Yeah.
Probably both, so we could all look at different areas.
3 shifts, 2 at
Mm,
a time.
yeah.
A shotgun with Arcos.
You what with me?
Sounds like he wants to shoot you.
He says he's got a 2-person tent.
Wait, You're going rabbit hunting with a rabbit?
I'm not a rabbit. I'm just rabbit-esque. It's different. I mean, you're not a person, are you? You're person-esque. Right?
I mean, yeah, kinda.
Adjacent, perhaps. Like Jarik, he's crab.
I'm
I
just
can't
better.
tell.
It's just
And I
Better
wink.
what?
It's about improving yourself, and
I mean,
I
you can just
encourage
burn, don't
everybody to
worry.
improve themselves.
So who's gonna go with who? You? Are you happy to go with Jarik, Captain? For what?
And he sort of like holds himself a bit. He's like, "That's fine. We should I mean, we've been on many adventures with Drake. Remember? Like, I know Drake. He's fine. We're all
I'll let you in on a little secret, and don't get too cocky about it. But I'm not that good at keeping an eye out for things. But I've seen you, and you seem to keep a good eye out for things. So I'd feel a bit safer doing it with you.
Well, that's a nice thing to say.
okay.
Yeah, you didn't see what I just saw.
Sure.
That was amazing.
Coming from the bard, too, of all people. I
As
said
he-
it wouldn't
as he,
be
like,
this way.
Becking bards.
Slides his arm around him. He's like, "Hey, what's good?"
Yes,
Sorry.
this came from the
I'm good.
Thickened Bard as well.
Yes.
I'm good. I can see very well in the dark. If we want to pair up with that kind of mindset.
So you're really good. Maybe you should go with Reed because he's great company.
I can see in the dark too.
Oh.
That's
Arcos
Hear the
is
sound of
trying
word
so
useless.
hard. Arcos
And
is
then-
trying so hard.
he's great.
Take a whistle.
He's a great conversationalist, and Ripple can do a watch with Sayira because that'd be great, right? Ripple, Sayera, cool.
It's fine
Buddies.
with me.
Saved you from that big thing with the teeth. Could do it again, just in case. And he sort of looks in the water.
Oh, yes. I was like, saved me from the big thing with teeth? No.
No, you saved her.
It's all about... So it's all about Riffle, you say.
Right, so
I've
do we
never
have a
drawn a
watch
log.
order?
About how you wanna, who wants to go first or last or middle?
I think Sayura claimed first.
Always go first, yes.
So
Okay.
Sire and Ripple
We'll
do
go
it first. Who's going to go second?
We'll go second.
So that leaves the final watch for Orvan and Reed and the wee smalls.
Reed's half asleep already.
Of course he is. So, unless there's any conversation you want to have before people bed down for the night, we'll move into the watches for the evening. With Syra and Ripple first. So before any rolls took, what is the conversation between Ripple and Syra during the course of the watch?
I'd hear little baby wolves in the woods right now, but I think that Arcos could use my help with the spirits, because he's got this aura about him, and maybe I could calm them down. What do you think?
Yeah, good try. He might be perceptive to that. I'm not sure he's very...
Friendly. He's not friendly.
He is friendly when you get to know him. He's just very... I want to say prickly.
That's not that's unfriendly because
Yeah.
well, okay. Well, what is he like? What's my in? How do I
Honestly, just be straight. Be straight to the point. Don't
Oh,
beat
oh,
around
be-
the bush.
Oh, be straight to the point. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what about you?
Me? What about me?
You don't really talk about yourself much.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, is that a? Okay, so I'm not supposed to ask questions.
Oh no, you can ask all the questions you like. But yeah.
Whether she'll answer them is a different story.
Yes. I
Have a bad reputation like gypsies.
Hmm?
I imagine pirates and gypsies have a
They do.
bad reputation.
I'd say you probably do as well. I don't know why, because we're likable people.
Oh, right.
Most of the time, eh?
Oh,
All the time. We're likable people.
we both like good food and good drink
Good
and
drink and a good party.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what people's problems are.
I don't know how this band got together. We're so different from each other.
I knew, obviously,
Gold.
I knew, yeah, Gold's one of them, but knew Captain from days of old.
Do you
He was-
really?
Hmm?
Go ahead.
No, you go first.
No, I like your stories. Go.
No, you carry on. You're about to ask a question.
I don't remember what it was.
I think maybe that wine that we had earlier might be getting to us.
A little bit.
What do you think to this place?
It's very pretty. I love it. But it's not for everyone, is it?
No.
Especially with the death. But,
Yes.
I don't know if we're going to get out of here, though.
I'm indifferent to that one. We either will or we won't, but I'll hope. Hopefully we will. Just more for... I don't think Orvan is taking this place very well. She seems to be struggling. So does Arcos.
Maybe the next watch they get together and they have a talk.
Jurek, I don't know where his head's at with all of the wanting to dig everything up.
So, I used to be in this gypsy camp, and what we liked to do was play pranks on people that were sleeping.
Yes. Tell me more. Good prank.
Sarah looks in her spell book right now. What do I got? What do I got? What do I got?
Can you levitate somebody? I could put somebody into a bottle.
What?
No, you can't.
No, I can't. I can only put myself into a bottle.
I was
Not-
gonna say
not
that's a
yet,
whole
you can't.
conversation right there.
That comes much later.
Damn it! I can't put I can put myself into a bottle. I can't put anybody else in at the moment.
As she drinks from a bottle.
I would do a spell, but I don't want to waste the, the energy we might need. So maybe we just kind of, just
Put their hands in some water.
yeah,
Have
yeah,
you heard that one?
yeah. That's.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to put it in?
No.
I get my mess kit, and I get a little pan.
Do we have? Yeah, hands.
Alright.
Yeah, and water. It's
Alright.
got to be warm. We'll warm it up a little, and then we'll put their hands in it.
All right, which one are we doing?
I think we should do Sharik. I think he has a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Or Reed.
Oh yeah, let's do Reed. He's been very quiet. He needs a laugh,
Yeah.
or he might kill us. But
Right,
might kill
before the hand in the water trick, we'll get perception checks from you both, please.
From us.
Yes.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
have any charcoal? Oh, we could draw.
I'd say with the way this conversation's going, I'm going to say we're going to be disadvantaged for these rolls.
Oh, I knew you were going to say
I don't
that.
think you need it.
I don't think
No, I don't think. You
I don't think you need it
either.
either. Looking at those rolls,
I
Okay.
will do it
here
anyway
we
because
go.
I get
But
a nat
yeah.
one. But, all right. No,
no
you
nat
did not.
ones, but
10 and 9.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when you roll and you want to roll disadvantage, just hover over your existing roll, and just
Yeah.
up and down arrows, which makes it a whole
Yeah.
lot easier.
I already rolled when you said,
It's all good.
disadvantage. I was like, oh.
It's all good. But once you make a roll, if you wanted to either make it advantage or disadvantage, if you hover your mouse over the roll that's in the chat, you'll see an up and a down arrow where you can roll advantage and disadvantage in the same roll, which makes it nice and easy. Anywho, with the 10 and the 9, nothing really is noticed by you two. Like the sound of the waterfall, it's close, so it's loud-ish. You're not like right on the waterfall. You camped a reasonable distance away, so it's not super loud or annoying. It's almost comforting, that sort of white noise from the waterfall nearby. You do notice a few crows hanging around until it gets really dark and the crows settle. At one point, you think you hear singing again, Sayra, with you being a 10 and Ripple being a 9. And you point it out to Ripple, and you both sort of sit there and listen, and you think, well, maybe it's just a waterfall. Can't really tell. So, back to the watering incident. You're going to attempt to put Reed's hand in a bowl of water.
We heated
Also,
in the. Yep.
I'm getting a bit of cooler charcoal out of the fire and drawing nice little moustache and some sunglasses on Orvan's face.
So first things first, we need stealth rolls from those doing the trickery,
Do this.
and perception rolls from those being tricked. So Orvan and Reed
I
will need
can't do this.
perception roll. So dirty 20 from Ripple. Reed,
Oh,
yeah, okay. So Reed, since Ripple was doing Orvan, you're not aware of the happenings, so you sleep soundly for the time being. Reed, however, as Sayura reaches down and grabs your hand and goes to place it into the warm water, you cock one eye open, hold your hand up, sort of cock one eye open at her, and look at her.
Drink. Helps me sleep. Tea. Quickly put some
And
grass
I'm
in.
just going to bat the bowl of water into her face.
I would say that's easily enough done.
Oh no, we lost.
Oh no, we lost him. What did you
Oh
do?
no, Dill hit the wrong button.
That was weird timing.
Yes, that was weird timing.
He's upset
Discord
with me.
restarted itself.
Oh no. All good. So yeah, so the water is
Oh,
being
yeah.
slept back into your face,
Oh, rude.
and you walk away, leave him to it. He goes back to sleep.
Oh, wet down.
It's
Eventually
okay, I'll
you're-
take that water away from your
Yeah.
face.
So eventually, your watch comes to an end without any real incident, and you wake Jariq and Arcos for their second watch.
Down and prod him. Drake! Captain! They look nice, so no, look at them looking all snuggled together.
Oh, look
So
who's under
who's
his
Big
arm.
Spoon?
Arcos is always little spoon.
Curled up under the arm like that.
He likes to be
Aw.
held. It's a secret he keeps to himself.
Hey, little buddy.
Hello! Time to wake
Uh.
up for your watch.
Are we watching for something in particular? Have you seen anything?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Or have you just been fucking around?
No.
We don't fuck around.
We're very serious about our
Ripple, you always fuck about, don't?
The innocence on this face. Excuse me.
Oh, you see right through it, like 100%. You know she's been up to something.
We did nothing. It's okay. You have good watch.
He like checks his ears, like he just checks himself. Oh, no, maybe she's right.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
didn't.
So, Sayara and Ripple, you head to your tents to sleep. Before we move forward with this watch, first things first. During your sleepy time, Jariq and Arcos, I need you both to make a wisdom save, please. Now that would be a fail.
I think I have my luck back because you used it.
Ooh.
Use
Yes,
it
yes. That is also a fail from Arcos. Unfortunately, that's also a fail, Jariq. You missed
Wasn't
by
going to
one.
use my luck roll,
Yeah,
I swear.
DC
But also
23.
knowing that now,
Yeah.
I'm glad I decided not to.
Yeah, DC 23 is what you're looking for that one. Which is awfully high for your level, I realise, but there's a reason for it. I need you both to give me your thoughts, and not just surface thoughts, but learn a little deeper. So we'll start with Jariq. What was Jariq thinking about as he slept? Or as he went to sleep, do you think? Where was his thoughts going, again, after another day in this place and the stories that he's heard, things that have happened?
I think I was thinking back to when I made when I made my first discovery, and that set me on the track of becoming an archaeologist, finding an old piece of pottery, and when I took it in to the local library at the, I can't remember where I was. I think I was from not Daggerford,
Somewhere.
but somewhere around
Yeah.
that area.
It's either would have been Neverwinter or somewhere just equally as important.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate,
And
probably.
showing them and learning that it was actually a pretty important piece that was at that point unknown, that it was in fact crafted by serpent folk, and it seemed to be some sort of ritual piece.
Okay, with
And-
that in mind, what do you think is one of Jariq's fears right now?
Having his freedom taken away,
In what sense?
losing his ability to be a little bit like lackadaisical about
So it's
things, having
freedom of will, maybe?
a little bit of freedom of will, more freedom of being able to go and do what he needs to do wherever he wants to go,
Okay.
having no real restraint.
Yeah, cool. We'll leave that there with you. Arcos, same thing. So just what is running through Arcos's mind as he goes to sleep, and then what is a fear that Arcos has in this moment, in this place.
So he starts off like, because he knows he's got to watch with Derek, and he's trying to come up with things to talk with him about, and he thinks about his love of stories because he, as a pirate captain, he has plenty of stories, but he'd also embellish them, which is
100%.
sometimes would get him in a lot of trouble. And then his mind draws back to what he's been thinking about since he realized they've been trapped here, in that he wants to keep everyone in the party safe, but he remembers what happened to his crew, and he blames himself for that, and he's trying to work out how he keeps them safe and what he needs to do to keep them safe, but also make sure that it's not him that causes them to die.
So his fear is being responsible for someone's death again. Would you say?
Yeah. He fears he's going to be responsible for the death of this group.
Interesting. So with that, you wake yourselves, you stoke the fire, the rest of you are sleeping. Conversation for you two. What does that look like in this moment?
First, I grab out that expensive bottle of wine that I bought from the inn, and I pour 2 glasses. Just slide one with the back of my hand over in front of Arcos.
Bad idea. Should we check the perimeter before we get... Well, it's only 1 glass. We surely wouldn't get drunk anyway, right?
Wouldn't think so. But you're probably right. We should probably check first.
Water or forest?
I'll check the water.
Arcos sort of sighs to himself, but he's okay with the forest, even though he always prefers to keep an eye on the water.
Unless, of course, you'd prefer the water.
No, the forest is fine. Crocodile type things in there, and werewolves and other type shit over here.
Well, I'll go for a wander over this way. And I'll meet you back here.
We'll reconvene and some delightful conversation to be had.
So the wine that you're drinking, I now remember the actual name of it, is Brut Lestomp, which is, I call it Champagne de l'Estompe, which is same thing, same but different.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
Yeah, so it's Brut Lestompe is the actual name. But it's a fine wine. You open that bottle and you can smell it. You both probably had fine wines in your travels. It is a very well made wine. Probably too well made for this place, perhaps. But perception rolls from you both if you're off into your separate areas to have a look-see around. Good roll from Zurich, dirty 20. 24 from Arcos, some nice rolls. So over the course of your watch, bit of conversation, you look around. Again, who's closest to the water? Would that be you, Zurich?
That's me.
The waterfall is the waterfall. Like you get the impression that the water's too fast running for any creature to sort of hide in or would be comfortable ambushing anything. Like this area is just not going to harbor any kind of nasty creature. Not that you believe anyway. You do see a few bubbles sort of here and there in the calmer water. You don't really hear much because of the sound of the waterfall. So that's pretty much what you see there. Arcos, You are sort of away looking towards the forested area. The fog is thick and heavy, heavier at night than it is during the day, and it seems to sort of envelop around you, but not fully. It's almost like a prison to somewhat, which I'd say makes you feel particularly uncomfortable. It's that closing in of the walls kind of feeling. But you definitely hear singing at one point. Again, hard to determine the direction, but it's a nursery rhyme-esque type song. Sounds like young girls perhaps singing it. Could be young boys too, it's kind of hard to tell. But it's 4 or 5 voices in unison. Can't really make out what they're saying. It's too far off in the distance. Or it just seems that way at least. But you can definitely, and it only lasts for a few moments before it's lost within the sound of the waterfall and the sound of the forest. But you definitely heard singing at one point.
Did you see anything in the water, Drake?
No, I think we're good.
I
Back to
heard
the
some
line.
singing. Not like threatening singing. Well, threatening in that sort of way that children sometimes give you the creeps. You ever experienced that?
The creeps, no, but I know I've heard children singing before.
Yeah. The wine is good though.
Yeah, it's not
That's it.
bad.
Good pickup.
I top up each glass, and then I put the bottle down and my glass down, and I move in behind and I start massaging his shoulders.
That's really unnecessary.
I'm just trying to loosen you up a bit. It seems like you got a lot of weight on your shoulders.
It can stay there. It's fine. I'm used to it.
Shouldn't be.
Not.
He's Arcos is obviously uncomfortable, like extremely uncomfortable with you touching him.
I mean, and this side's metal, so it's probably not doing much.
And I'd say as you would sort of touch him, you'd feel that, like, you can see that he's lost his arm at the shoulder. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I was supposed to turn that stuff off, and I didn't.
When did you meet Reed? How long have you known Reed for? And he sort of like shuffles away from you. He's like, yeah, Reed. Tell me about Reed. He's
I don't really know him that well. I mean, I know him well enough, but yeah, he's all right.
Where did you
Go to the
where'd you
Blade.
pick him up from? Like, surely you've been traveling together for a while, and
I came recommended actually from the Duchess.
no. So like a hire rather than mutual acquaintance.
Well, more so originally started as a hire, but you know we became friends afterwards.
Does that mean you don't pay him now?
I haven't. Don't tell him this, but I haven't paid him at all. He's never asked.
That's on him. See, yeah.
So what do you make of the group?
It's. I mean, we've worked together before, but this feels different, right? This place. I mean, Orvan's obviously deeply troubled. I mean, sometimes she gets a bit concerned about what goes on in the group, but more so now here.
I mean,
and no, go on.
I was going to say, I think Saira fits in a little too well.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like we were thinking the same thing, which might be a good thing. Like maybe she'll be the one to save us from this place. You know, like she obviously like knows some things that the rest of us don't know. And the card thing, you know, like reading the cards. People,
I
I
let
don't
you
know
in
where
on
I
a
was
secret.
going. Is it a secret I'm gonna regret knowing? Like,
I don't think so. But you can't tell the others.
okay, yeah,
I'm scared bloody shitless.
of what?
I don't. What is this? What do you? What sort of magic is this that we can't leave? Like, I know magic and I don't know what's going on.
Did you notice that the gypsies only talk about traveling around Barovia, and then he described the map right to the edge of the map, and then nothing about what's on the other side of that? Like, surely if you travel, you've been to other places. You don't stay in the one land.
That's what worries me. I didn't want to say it in front of the others because, you know, I don't want to be the downer in the group. I want to be the upper. But I'm shitting my pants. I feel like we're going to be trapped forever, and I can't stand that thought. I like to have options, and I feel like they're all slipping away.
um, I understand why maybe you don't want the others to know, but sometimes like honesty within the group can help you keep safe if people know what's going on.
Yeah, but if we all started sharing all of our problems, then we're just going to be dwelling on them.
Right.
I just figured, you know, you deal with a lot of things on a daily. You might be the best person to talk to.
Well, I mean, I had some thoughts about things we could do if we are trapped here, but still thinking about getting out. I know maybe the prince? Like, surely if anyone knows how to get out of here, the prince does, right?
Well, I think we need to find out because there's got to be an answer. Someone knows.
Yeah, there's always a way out. I mean, the prince came here too, according to Peter. He said the prince traveled here a long time ago with his family. Maybe we can go out the way he came in.
Maybe, but he went out underground, or I'm assuming maybe.
I mean, and that's what you do, right? Like underground stuff. You were saying, you know, digging things in the ground.
Yeah, when I'm alive and digging things, but his brother went underground in a different way. I don't want to go that way.
Oh yeah, his brother. I wasn't paying much attention, to be honest. Gypsies were kind of freaking me out.
Well, I don't want to use all the bottle tonight, so I'll pop the cork back on. Should we get the others up? It's already starting to get. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, it's definitely getting about that time.
I'll go get Orvan and you. I mean, I assume Reed's used to being woken up by you.
Nah, I just leave him to it.
Isn't he your guard though? Surely he's the one that keeps watch over you, right?
Honestly, the one time I ever knew that somebody tried to wake him, they had to go see the clerics.
Yeah, and at that point, Arcos doesn't say anything. He just heads to where Orvan is. He's like, okay, like mentally, like, okay, that's fine. I'm going. And
So you go over to Orvan's tent, and Jarik, you go wake Reed. So Arcos, the moment you open Orvan's tent, you know exactly what's happened here. You see the charcoal, the moustache, and the spectacles that's been drawn on Arcos on Orvan's face, and you know immediately who the culprit is, without even making a roll.
Orvan,
Is it that time already? And I'm just gonna like rub my
careful with
my
your
eyes. And
She
my
rubs
face.
it over her whole face.
Ooh.
So very good natured, but you might want to clean your face up a bit. You've got
What?
a little something sort of everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you don't say it was time you look down at your hands are covered as well in charcoal.
What the hell happened? What?
Maybe restless
Hey.
sleep.
Oh, I guess. I'll go wet like a piece of cloth.
No worries. Easily enough done.
It's too early for
Yeah, you
this.
clean yourself up. Jarik, you wake Reed. Give him a boot, fucking nudge him awake, whatever you do. So we'll get, before we start with you guys, we'll get Ripple and Sire to make a wisdom save, and we'll deal with that first before we go to Orvan and Reed. So as I said before, DC is 23. It is very high, but there is a reason for it. I mean, nice rolls, but not enough. A natural 20 would automatically succeed, of course. So, same question we had to previous characters. So, we'll start with Ripple. Ripple's thoughts going to sleep about, again, considering where you're at, what's happened, and this is more than surface thoughts. This is what is going on in your mind, and a fear that Ripple is having in this moment.
Listening to the sound of the water and enjoying that sound of the water as she's going to sleep, but worried that she's never going to hear the sea again.
So she fears not being so
No.
close to water and not being able
Not-
to
not
do
being
what
able
she
to-
normally does.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Saira, same for you. Your thoughts and a fear.
See, Orvan was very kind of reserved this morning when I gave her tea. I will probably fall asleep thinking about, because I know her from previous, like we were friends.
Yeah.
I'll be worried about like how she's doing mentally and everything, and if there's something I can do to help her, and I'll fall asleep to that.
And your fear. What fear does Saira have at the moment, if any?
My fear would be, that's a hard one. I probably, if we are being examined and judged by
Okay.
everyone in Barovia, kind of thing.
I suppose that makes sense for a gypsy to be fear being
Select
ridiculed, to being ridiculed and judged and mistreated. I guess that makes sense. So, Reed and Orvan, same for you. Wisdom saves, please. Orvan, yours will be at advantage. That was an ability check. Want to save?
It rolled it twice.
Yes, it did.
Oh, hang on, sorry.
Yeah, so you need to save, not a check. So on your sheet, your saves will be where are the saves on there? Below your stats at the top, there's a box called saving throws. On your main.
Oh, there.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yep. Sorry. Oh, I can't. Is it control? Oops.
Yep. Nope, that was disadvantage. Alt for advantage.
Oh.
But we'll take the 24. So you're
Okay.
good. You actually saved, so you're good.
Yippee! Fuck you
So
guys.
Reed, yours failed. So Orvan, during your sleep, all I'm going to ask you is just the basic surface thoughts. What are the as you go to sleep? What would Orvan be thinking about? Just the surface stuff, nothing too deep.
Probably about family.
Okay.
And that we can't get back to where we were at.
No worries.
Yeah.
So again, nothing too deep there, but just a real basic thought. So Reed, just a little bit more deeper of thought for you. So what is Reed thinking about as with the events that have happened the last few days, where you've had the stories you've heard this day, and what is one of Reed's fears right now?
So Reed is trying to keep it together.
So he's on the verge of
in general
collapse, would you say? Like intellectual collapse or like emotional collapse? You want to sort that dog, please?
He's on the verge of like being overtaken by his fear of not being able to like protect who he needs to.
Makes sense.
And that's like stressing him out a lot.
Well, that's his job, isn't it? So it makes sense that he would fear that he's unable to complete that task. So with that, you guys wake for your watch. It is now early hours of the morning. I would say this. You can see that the sun is probably starting to rise, so that it is starting to get a little lighter, but not so much so that it's light. It's still reasonably dark. So I will need you both to roll a perception check and any conversation being had as well.
Perception.
10 from Orvan, and not much better from Reed. 12. So I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty average. Like it's starting to get lighter a little bit. So you'll start to see the creatures of the forest start to move about as even they start to wake in the early hours of the morning. You'll see a few squirrels and the crows start to fly around again. I would say, Reed, you would notice a very large crow sat in a tree close by. It almost looks like it's watching you for a time, and then it takes flight and flies away. But not much else is seen or heard. So what conversation is had in your final hours of watch? No, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, real good. So
Reed,
do you have anything to get back to on the other side?
not really.
If we head back to where we came from.
I mean, a job.
Is this all you have? Just working all the time? No family?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I have a family, but it's been a while.
How did you get started in I mean, have you always just done archaeology stuff with Jarek, or?
Well, it's kind of funny. Kind of stumbled into it.
Literally, he fell in a hole and Jarek found him years later. Dug him up.
Actually?
Sorry, no.
No.
I was like,
I had
what?
to say it, right?
No, my brothers just stuffed me in a hole as a child. That's what happened. It's not dig holes.
Jesus. Oh dear. So I guess you don't mind being stuck here with looking for new things with Drake.
I mean, I'm stuck looking for new things with Drake anyway.
Anyway.
so- Fair enough. Well, I guess I'm not stuck. But. What about you?
Well, I mean, is he paying you as well?
I mean, I haven't really asked. I don't really ever need anything. I mean, I eat. I mean, he said he'd pay me, so maybe someday. It's not like I'm gonna wake him up right now for money. I mean,
Oh no, that
Maybe I
just sounds
should.
like a very good what do they say? Symbiotic relationship, right?
yeah, you could say that.
You still get fed, you get to go on adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find nice
I
things.
haven't really had many adventures. I just kind of travel around a lot, usually.
Well, I mean, you help people, don't you?
I do.
There you go. Each person you help is a new adventure.
Gosh, I hope that they think that too. Just always have to move on before I get to see like the greater good that happens. I'm just hoping that we don't get stuck here with any more bad luck or anything overly terrible.
I mean, you never know. Could be great, could be terrible, could be. I mean, who knows? At this rate, at the rate we're going, we're all gonna die here. So.
So reassuring.
I just don't know if I want to die here though. Like,
I mean, it wouldn't really be like death. I mean, just be kind of
I at least want my parents to be able to have my body or something be able to get me so I can rest at home, like these kids that we're trying to help.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even know where I'd go if I died.
Oh, you're going to hell, mate, for sure.
Oh,
The hell's for you.
You don't follow a god or religion or
well, I mean, I just don't
just
know where
think
my
we
body.
go to the ground.
My body would just be laying on the side of the road somewhere.
Oh, I would hope someone would look after it. Maybe send it back to nature. Kind of creepy thinking about it. Right next to this water where that giant crocodile came out of.
Speaking of water and giant things, well, no, not literally giant things. As you said that, you look over towards the waterfall, and just down from the waterfall at the water's edge, you notice a stag. An albino stag. It's not tan, more grey in colour, like not white, but more grey, real thick fur on it, thick hair. But the one thing that stands out to you is its antler, like massive antler, but they are onyx black, which is just, you'll never see a deer with black antler. It's always brown and white and very distinctive coloration. But this stag is light grey in colour, but large black onyx antler. And as you're sort of looking over instinctively, it looks up and looks directly at you, Orban, and holds your gaze for 2-3 seconds before darting off into the forest.
I'm gonna clutch at my holy symbol. It is a shame that it ran, because I would want to extend like my hand out to kind of try and coax it over.
Yeah, it turned and ran. I mean, it held your gaze for a while, then turned and ran and disappeared into the forest. And as you clutch your holy symbol, I mean, obviously you would understand more than anybody what your holy symbol is, and the symbolization, or the symbolism that it holds. The stag with the onyx and antler.
Seems like she is watching over us after all. That is very good. I'm glad that, I mean, have you ever had a lot of misfortune in your life?
Oh,
Reed?
yes. Definitely. I mean, how do you think I got my scars?
Oh,
I was literally struck by lightning.
how many do you have? And what's the biggest one that you have?
He's got, I mean, you can see the scar on his
I
face.
have like lightning scar down like the side of my face.
Yeah, he's got a very
Is that
distinctive.
your biggest one?
I mean, other than maybe a gash on my ribs.
Have
I
you
mean-
ever thought about trying to get rid of bad luck?
I mean, I'm kind of cursed. So,
Really? That's the worst
Well,
kind
I
of bad
mean-
luck.
I mean, I was cursed by giants.
Oh. How does that how does that happen to you?
My weapon. I found it in the ground. It was just like sticking out of the ground. So I dug it up and yeah, got cursed.
Wasn't fun.
Speaking
Your weapon
of Reed's weapon,
Uh-huh.
Reed never stops moving when he's awake. His weapon is constantly in motion. So you can't get too close to him, even if you wanted to. Because he just is constantly
Always fiddling with it.
he's always just moving in such a way that you get the impression that if you tried to touch him or reach out or even try and attack him, he'd be always ready to defend himself. Like he's constantly almost, think of the ADHD teenager who just can't fucking sit still. Like he's literally just constantly moving.
Darth Maul.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that would probably be a good analogy. Like Darth Maul in that scene, he's constantly moving, like he's pacing backwards and forwards, and his weapon is constantly in motion. He's just he's not nervous though, like he's not jittery. It's just constant movement.
How does it affect you then, if you're cursed?
But I mean, not necessarily a terrible curse, because I've learned to control it. But I nearly killed my brother when I was young, because
That sounds
I just
terrible.
lost it.
Because you didn't understand it yet?
I mean, they stuffed me in a tree.
What?
My
The
brothers are
giants?
normal-sized humans.
Oh, okay. Your brother stuffed you in a tree, and then you...
Well, in a hollow tree.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then I came back with the weapon I found and kind of blacked out. And I was struck by lightning, I guess.
Whoa. You have so much misfortune. Oh my gosh. Have you tried to remove the curse ever?
Well, the elves in Silvermoon said that I can. Is it Silvermoon?
Yeah, close enough.
Some elves, some people.
Some elves
Yeah,
somewhere.
Silvermoon.
Yeah. There's elves in Silvermoon City.
The highly acclaimed.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, have you tried even higher? Gods.
I mean, I do follow a god.
And they couldn't remove?
Well, I mean, haven't really asked, I guess.
Maybe it's time for intervention.
Yeah, but
I mean, I can try and ask mine.
I don't know if I'd want to not be cursed. I'm kind of. It's almost like a blessing and a curse at the same time. You know, there's always good where there's bad. They have to weigh out.
I guess if you've learned to harness it, like maybe not.
Who knows? You know, it does come in handy sometimes. You know.
Well, you can turn it around into not so unfortunate events. I think we can focus on that for you. I don't want any more misfortune for you at all.
Well, I mean,
or anyone here.
Well, I mean, then we might need to make Arcos like me a little bit.
What makes you think he doesn't like you already?
Well, he almost stabbed me once.
I mean, almost being the operative word.
I think that's just his way, no?
I guess.
I'd say about this time the sun has started to come up. It's gotten light. As your conversation continues, the rest of you start to wake. Ready for a new day.
I think I want to try to wake Seer up with water.
Yeah, well, you know exactly what happened. So if you want to try that with Sierra, you can be my guest. Stealth versus perception.
Did Orvan realize that she had a face full of charcoal?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's probably what you missed. Yeah, Arcos did definitely.
She did
Okay.
today.
Whoa! It
Whoa!
was, you did notice though. However, I'd say he gets your you're gonna try the same trick, Reed? Like dump her hand in water.
I'd be using a water skin.
You're gonna just dump water on her.
I just use a water skin, just like.
So I'd say as you go to pour or squirt the water onto Syrah's lying there, opens one eye just as you go to squirt it intent at her. She just wakes slowly, and it's like you see Reed poking his head in the tent with the water skin, aiming at you, ready to fire.
Yeah, as soon as he's ready to fire, I'm gonna use my tambourine to like block it and smack him in the head a little bit because it's not gonna hurt him.
Ding! As the tambourine rattles off the side of his head.
Oh, I am a light sleeper. I'm so sorry. Good.
As am I.
We get along well then. Good morning.
Oh, by the way, we didn't cook breakfast.
Oh, what's no breakfast?
We have places to be.
Oh.
I mean, you've got rations still.
Yeah.
I'd say your rations would be running low because you only had about 5 or 6 days worth when you left Daggerford. So you'd be, and you haven't used many, you've been at the inn, so you probably got 3 days rations left, maybe 3-4 days. So you got enough for at least another 2 or 3.
I would want to go hunting then, if we're getting low.
I'd say you got enough for 2 or 3 days at least at the moment, so you're good for now, but you will need to secure food at some point, or at least get more rations for traveling. But you'll come to wake. Anyone share what they heard or didn't hear or saw? Did that last watch? You didn't really see anything untoward apart from obviously Orban with your stag. But apart from the bit of singing that was heard by a couple of you, nothing really of event happened during the evening.
Nah, I know that was for me.
That was definitely for you.
Mhm.
I mean, whether you
I just
mention
get
it, it's up to you, but it was definitely a symbol for you to have seen.
I look around the group as I stretch and I go, was that as good for you as it was for me?
I don't know. How good was it for you?
Well, I feel refreshed.
I look at Argos.
I want you to know I don't know what he's talking about. He got a little bit familiar and I told him my boundaries. It's fine. We'll move on.
Safe word, pineapple.
Safe word, I've got a dagger. It's a sentence, really.
Dagger.
Am I right to click the button?
Yes, you can take a long rest if you need to. For those that have used things and stuff. And you break down camp and you prepare to set out for the day, following the road northward. Which you do so over the next 2 hours, following the road, walking and talking, discussing the previous day's events, maybe the evening that's just been, or not talking at all, up to you entirely. You start to wind upwards on this road. It starts to ascend. As you notice, like the large cliff face with the waterfall walls, it was very tall, so you started to ascend slightly. And you eventually come to a stunning sight as you approach. In the distance, the fog sort of obscures it initially until you get within sort of 30, 40, 50 feet of it. Seems to be a large gate. It is massively tall. None of you would have seen the like of it anywhere. Like even in some of the biggest cities, the statues either side are striking. However, the heads it looks like it's in a bit of disrepair, but the heads have been fallen off with age or disrepair, or almost look like they've been lopped off to a degree. And we will activate this for you. Oh, this is huge, and this scale is correct to the horseman in this image that I'm showing you. And chat,
That's cool.
I will show you as well. So this is what the players are seeing. As you step forward, you've got this giant wall of stone coming out from the mountainside either side. In the center stand 2 large knights. The heads have, as I said, either been lopped off or just come off with age. They're lying in overgrown bush either side of this large gate, standing with massive swords at their front. In the center, as you can see, what's in this picture, you can see that the massive iron gate that stands closed before you. Signs of age obvious on it. The rust is thick and heavy. There is a slight sort of haze to it through the mist. The mist is light here, but it is magnificent to behold. As I said, none of you in your lifetime would have seen anything even that could compare just to the sheer size of this. How do you react as you approach this massive gate? Gilneas.
Yeah, that's big.
That's some beautiful craft work.
I'd say
Is
to
there heads
read-
on the ground?
there are
Just
heads
like
on the
that?
ground, yes. And
I'm
again,
gonna go have a look.
scale is correct to the horseman in this picture. Zarit, this would probably fascinate you, of course. Just the sheer age of it. It looks very, very old. It's been here for many, many decades / centuries. But yes, Orvan, if you want to head forward and have a look at one of the heads that is laying in the ground at the feet of one of the knights, you are more than able to do so.
Yep. Also want to touch
Of course you do.
everything.
You
I'm
gotta touch
touching the whole
everything.
Just
thing.
say,
Just want to see how it's been carved because it looks cool.
let's just say Jarik's jimmies are jumping.
By
So, what is
Arthur,
everyone
or-
doing? What is everyone doing?
I'm getting my smith's tools out. In case I have to break an iron gate.
Vehicle.
Checking
Or-
out hinges.
Chisel out a piece for me to have a look at.
That's true.
Is that? So Orvan, you head over to the head closest to you, and it's massive. Like it's the size of a small cart. Like it's 6, 7, 8 feet tall. As you it's sitting with its face looking upward towards the sky. You get closer to it, and you can see the age on it. Like there's bits missing. It's worn in places. It's overgrown with ivy and other bits and pieces. The stone itself is almost like an alabaster white chalk, but it's much tougher than chalk, almost more marble-esque than chalk, but it's very white. The whole thing is pristine, and it's in the way that it's been crafted. Like it's very well made, but it's just been here for a long, long, long time. And now that you're sort of close enough to it, I would say you can tell that it's been here for centuries, not decades.
Does it resemble craftsmanship or mason work by any other? Like, does it resemble anything I've seen before?
I would say probably not. The stonework, the design is very different than anything you've seen in and around like Baldur's Gate or Daggerford or Neverwinter, any of the major cities. Like the major cities have amazing architecture, and they have very distinctive styles of architecture with the different architects and builders and stonemasons of the era. But this is just as equally well made, but not of a design that you're familiar with.
And the features, are they distinctly human?
Yes.
Or are there any other features?
They are distinctly human. The features on the one that you can see, the other one has been quite severely damaged. So the one that has its features intact, you can see that they are very similar to the human folk that you've struck in this land. Very broad jaw lines and cheek lines, very, very Slavic in nature, in the way the facial features have been carved and stoned.
Start making notes on the map, particularly around the dimensions of the wall, and my
Your estimation,
guess at age.
yeah, your estimation of height is probably 400 feet. You can't even see the top through the mist covers the top of this. Width maybe 800 to 1,000 feet. It's like the wall and gate is gone into the cliffside either side, so it's very, very large. The gate itself is probably 30 feet high and about 30 feet wide as well. Probably more 45ish at its peak, and a good width, like 20 to 30 feet in width. As you guys get closer to the gate itself, the gate squeals loudly as it starts to swing open on its own. The rusted hinges moan and cry under the rust and weight of this old iron gate, so loud that you almost wince at the pitch and the sheer volume of the squeal from the rusted iron as the gates slowly swing open. seemingly inviting you to walk through.
And the hammer goes back in the belt.
Let's go.
Hey, Peter did say about a giant gate, so this makes sense.
he indeed he did.
Good.
Let's just hope it opens on the way back.
So Jarek, you mark down on the map where the gate is located on your map, because it wasn't located on the map that you had previously. So you make a mark and a note. The age, looking at the stone, given like you spend a few moments here looking at the stone from the head that's on the ground. The age, you could probably make what would be a roll for this for you? Can you make an archaeology roll on your sheet?
I mean, I could roll
The intelligence probably.
investigation.
Oh, history, investigation, intelligence. History or investigation, your choice. Add your proficiency as well. Easy roll. 25. So with a 25, you easily determine that this is at the very least 4 centuries old. Would have to be 4 or 5 centuries, if not older. But it's definitely been here for at least 400 years. So probably you probably can determine probably at the inception of this kingdom was when this wall was built and these statues were tooled and placed here.
As you see Jarek just standing there busy about his work as if he's on his regular day job. He's just muttering as he makes the notes, at least probably about 400, at least 400 years old. So you can all hear him saying this.
He's just muttering to himself.
Yeah.
Jarek, is this the kind of stuff that you're always interested in? I love art. Is this the kind of thing you always look at?
Yes.
And you can see Jarek is beaming, like absolutely almost glowing with excitement over this particular find.
I make a
seeing, but
I make a sketch of the face as well in my book.
Easy enough done. You can sketch the gate quickly if you want.
No, specifically the face. I want to make note of what the face look like, its features.
It doesn't really have a distinctive features left. It's just the features are definitely human and very Slavic in nature, as are the people of this land. Apart from that, there's no really determining features that it would look like someone in particular, if that's what you're sort of looking at. It's just it's a very generic sort of statue face, but obviously patterned off someone from this land or the people of this land at the very least.
And is it easy enough? Well, probably have to get up there to have a look, but from where we get our line of sight, is it possible to determine, was this erosion that caused the heads to fall off, or were they?
You would have to climb up there and have a look, and you're looking at a fair distance. I mean, like I say, the height of the whole thing's sort of 400 feet high. You can't see the top. The top of the statues, you're probably looking at least 100 feet. Like these are huge.
Given the state of it, I decide not to, because I don't want to destroy any of it.
Looking at it, a climb up there would be dangerous, even by your standards. You look at it, you can see the erosion around the brickwork, and as much as this is a grand structure, age has definitely taken its toll here. So you could almost assume that it's erosion that's caused the heads to fall. Actually, you could, if you wanted to, you can make an investigation roll on the head itself. You wouldn't have to go to the top. Yeah, I mean, your assumption could definitely be that erosion has caused this. You wouldn't be able to, you're not 100% sure, but assumptions easily enough made.
Somewhat caught up between the physical nature of the structure and the potentially arcane way that the gate opened on its own. I'm kind of tossing up thoughts and sharing this with Reed that, do you reckon it you reckon it's mechanical or arcane?
I can find that out.
You can?
I can detect magic. If it was opened by magical means, or if it has any trace, I can try.
If you're willing to.
Yeah, I'll do
it.
Just hold off for a sec.
You like?
That sounds alright.
Could just be an old gate and the wind, but you know.
I mean, there is a bit of wind.
It's a pretty heavy gate.
Superstitious anyway. It's gonna say,
Can I see if I see that big crow?
The big crow. You can look around, make a perception check for me, Reed. So,
And that's concentration for 10
yeah.
minutes as
So
well.
as you, ignoring Arcos and release your spell, you do indeed. There is an aura of the arcane around the gate, around the wall and statues itself. Like this whole thing is awash with arcane energy. Perception 10. There's crows around. They're varying sizes. But this is definitely, Orvan, this whole structure is awash with arcane energy.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's set up to open upon somebody coming up.
And you get the school of magic too. So it's transmutation and transmutation magic.
I will relay that if somebody needs that. Sorry.
Essentially, it
Akos,
means Essentially, it means that it's designed to do things.
Yeah, changing the state of something.
Yeah.
I know from Full Metal Alchemist. Thank you.
Just making sure, because I forget
Privilege
sometimes.
exchange.
Because I
Turn your
forget
brother into a
sometimes.
suit of armor.
knowing enough about the schools of magic myself, I just say, oh, okay, interesting. So I'm guessing there's no wards here then, no abjuration.
Not that you can see.
Means we're probably safe to go through.
So what you're telling me is they used a whole pile of magic on this whole big thing we're right in front of to open the gate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Magic people are weird.
You're telling me.
I think maybe it's just to make it. It's like, they're also lazy. They might
Has
just
anything
not want to open the gate themselves.
been easy since we got here? But now they've got magic to open the
Magic
gate.
users just like to use shortcuts.
I nudge Reed and be like, why don't you go and try and move the gate?
But it's already open.
Just give it a go.
So you step up to try and move the gate, Reed?
Yes.
So as you approach the gates, like to the threshold of the gate, the two statues, the stone moves and rumbles. The whole ground tremors beneath your guys' feet. No need for checks. It's not enough to knock you off your feet. But both statues step forward and take a knee as if to greet you as you walk towards the gate.
Definitely started shitting my pants when that happened.
Roll for shitting thy pants.
Thought this was about to be some wizard chess type shit.
You also get to know what school of shit it is.
So, to answer Arcos's question, no, the magic here is definitely not just open the gate. Clearly, there's other magics here at work.
I'd wait to see what he does with the gate first.
Do you attempt to move the gate still?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Good night.
You go to move the gate, and it will not budge.
You see, that's probably why they used the magic.
It is a heavy, heavy gate.
What do you mean why they use the magic? The statues just knelt down.
Did you want to have a go at the gate?
No, I'm sure they built the gate with the magic in it. They didn't put the magic on the gate afterwards.
Then maybe I should take some of the metal.
Maybe you should dig and find out. I don't know.
I'm flabbergasted. Are you offering me a chance to dig?
You do what you want.
How much of a hole?
As you look at your feet, you know that digging here is going to be quite impossible. Beneath your feet, beneath the probably an inch or two of mud and dirt, is sheer granite.
I can't even get the tip of the shovel in.
That's a
Son
shame.
of a bitch.
Try the other
Okay,
side.
I'm out. I don't want to play
That's
this game
strike
anymore.
one.
Bye.
Strike one, Sticks. I'll let you get away with the other few early tonight, but that one deserves a strike.
Superstitious will thank the spirits of old for opening the gates for us and walk through and wait for them.
Mhm.
She
I'm gonna walk through as well.
she's not taking chances, you know.
Thought we
Yeah,
realized it was
Gone as well.
magic. It's not spirits, it's magic. They said it was magic. The wizard said it was magic. It's magic, it's not spirits.
I said
They
it
are-
was magic.
Or Valen said it was magic. It's not spirits, Ira. Don't play with me like that. He runs through the gap.
It is just it is just magic. It's fine. No,
Why does she have to be like? Why do you have to be
I-
like that, Sarah?
And as Arcos runs through the gate, arms reach out to grab him. It's like,
Jarik walks up to the gate and he
stop.
takes it. He
Magic says stop calling him out, okay?
Jarik just walks up to the gate and takes a knee and looks through the gate, though not at either statue, before going through.
Done. And as you all traverse through the gate and step away from the gate's threshold onto the other side, the sound of the screeching hinges is heard again as the gate slowly closes behind you, and the rumbling of the statues as they stand back into place, back to inanimate resting. On the opposite side is much the same. However, the statues are still intact, albeit eroded and old, covered in ivy, similar to this type, but the heads are intact. One of them's got a nose missing, bits and pieces like that. Like, it still looks old and worn. But
Missing a couple fingers.
yeah, it's just the statues on this side don't animate as you go through. It could be just as you walk through. Who knows? You might find out when you come back the other way.
You know what they
But-
should have done? They should have
Oh
put
my God.
maintenance magic, because this
Well,
place has gone to
indeed.
shit. I mean, if
Maintenance
they can
magic.
make it open and close and the bending down and stuff, surely they could have put in some, fix every couple of years, right?
So
Magic's like that.
you are
That's
through
not
the
like that,
gates. As you step through the gate and continue down the road, off in the distance, again through the haze of the fog, you can see the outline of what looks to be a large windmill on the crest of a small hill. Probably 500, 600 feet away. So within an hour or two's walk from this gate, you will make your way to this windmill. And that's where we'll call tonight's session, guys. It's 10 o'clock. We've been going for 3.5 hours. I think it's a good place to call it. You're within a couple hours journey of your destination, and you've made it there relatively unscathed, which is good. Thank you, chat, for hanging out with us this evening. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome players. Another awesome session as always. Appreciate your RP, the time that you take to play this game. Hopefully you're enjoying the story so far. Things seem to be cruising along quite nicely. A little bit of back and forth with the players, a few stories coming out, which is good to see. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks for session 12. I haven't come up with a title for that just yet, but it'll more likely be it'll be probably called Old Bone Grinder, just for Urban's sake.
Are we playing on
I
Valentine's?
swear to fucking God, if you make me grind these kids' bones, I will leave.
So that'll be February 14th, won't it?
No!
Because that's 2 weeks from
For
today.
me,
Yeah, so that'll be...
yeah, it'll be my.
It'll be
Valentine's
15th
Day.
for us. Do you have any plans for Valentine's is the question, Mr. Dill.
Not yet.
So
So
I will post a date if you end up having plans, or you just let me know. As
but
always,
it's
if
also
we
at
lose,
11:30 at night.
yeah. So if we lose a player, we'll continue to play. If we lose 2 players, we won't. But yeah, so it's same as always. Just let me know.
That
So-
should be good.
Drax says next time don't use the cup of water park. Puts one character's arm around another, and then let them wake up to it. Oh, the prank, cup of water prank, right? Don't use the cup of water prank. Yes, the Drax is hanging out in the chat. So, as I said, 2 weeks time we're back for some more D&D with this awesome group of our peers. I'll be playing D&D again tomorrow with some of the people in this group, which is Mr. Sticks and Mr. Grimm. They will be hanging out with me with P2 tomorrow. That's session, I think we're session 60, 61 over there now. Getting into it. And level 8.
Levander's going to make sure he takes watch with Varios and stuff.
I don't know if Varys
I
would,
like
I don't
that.
know if Varys would be as receptive as Arcos though. I think probably less so. I don't know, he might be. Varys is a little bit more laid back. Although that seems to be changing a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of Varys, I've got to catch up with you at some point, Mr. Grimm, about
Just gotta scratch him between his horns.
about one of your stats that you're wanting to increase. Because you have been doing some work towards it, so we will look at that before next session. So I will catch up with you sometime tomorrow before we start.
Cool.
So with that being said, everybody out there in Twitch land and YouTube land, thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate it so much. We will see you in a couple of weeks for the next session. Until then, stay safe and hope everyone is keeping well. And we'll say goodnight. Bye.